Chapter 9:10. The young man was horrified to the extreme, in disbelief, his mind even a bit stupefied. How could such a powerful being with the chaotic body not belong to their side? Just how terrifying was this? It was horrifying. How could an immortal domain, chaotic body appear in the foreign realms, forbidden land? What left the young man in even more disbelief was that he also sensed a strong aura of darkness matter from Jun Xiaoyao's body. This was something unique to the foreign realms creatures. That was why when he first woke up, the young man instinctively believed that Jun Xiaoyao was someone from their side. Jun Xiaoyao said with a sneer, "Of course I am not a foreign realms creature. I came here only to topple the foreign realm." This was the first time the young man felt like his heart was extremely cold, as if he fell into an ice cave. The handsome man in white, with a faint smile on his face, had hidden himself too deeply. If he continued to hide, he might really bring an unimaginable great calamity to the foreign realm. Truly foolish, revealing your own identity. Are you trying to force me to kill you? The young man made up his mind, his eyes overflowing with killing intent. Previously, he saw that Jun Xiaoyao had a rare chaotic body, possibly having an undying emperor clan behind him, which was why he wasn't willing to fight to the death. Now, the young man's killing intent was unprecedentedly strong. This type of powerful chaotic body, moreover one that was hostile to immortal domain. More importantly, he could even infiltrate immortal domain without anyone noticing. This white-clothed man was too terrifying, his strength and intelligence definitely unmatched in this world. If this type of person wasn't eliminated, after he grew up, he would bring about a devastating blow to the foreign realm. The moment you spoke these words, you were already destined to die. The young man's demonic energy rushed into the heavens, blood and chi filling the heavens, as if a furious king of hell. You are wrong. The reason I took the initiative to speak is because I want to kill you. Jun Xiaoyao held the everlasting sword core in hand, sword radiance surging like a sea. Primal chaos opening the heavens, even more so surged, crushing over like a world-destroying wheel, crushing everything. Both sides used all of their moves this time, seeking death, not leaving the slightest bit of leeway. The heaven and earth essence energy here surged like a sea. All types of divine chains of order and void symbols were struck out. As Jun Xiaoyao flipped his palm, chaotic aura cascaded down like a waterfall. A wisp of it could crush the void. In the end, the spiritual chi in the area became violent, and the battle between the two sides reached its climax. In just a single breath, they could exchange hundreds and thousands of blows. Ordinary sky prides would find it difficult to catch their movements. "It's about time," Jun Xiaoyao suddenly said. "What do you mean?" The young man's eyes were as sharp as swords. "I have a good understanding of my own strength. You're no longer of any value to me as a whetstone." Jun Xiaoyao's tone was flat, without any anger. The words that came out of his mouth almost made the young man die from anger. This white-clothed man was too arrogant. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. "Let's try the fourth paragon technique brewed from the paragon's divine blood." Jun Xiaoyao thought. Rumble. His blood began to boil and rumble like thunder. It wasn't the blood of the primal chaos, but the primal divine blood that flowed out after the primal chaos bone was shattered. It was sparkling and resplendent. It was divine and holy. The paragon's divine blood flowed throughout Jun Xiaoyao's body. In an instant, Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be wrapped in a ball of resplendent divine flames. He really looked like a chaotic divine king, and his aura rose steadily. Jun Xiaoyao also felt that his strength in all aspects had improved. Physical body, strength, dermic powers, divine soul, perception. The increase brought by the fourth paragon technique was an increase in all attributes. This could be seen as an invincible technique that increased all attributes. Double, triple. Jun Xiaoyao had only activated it for the first time, and his attributes had increased by more than several times. Even the young man inexplicably sensed a great danger. It was a danger on the verge of death. The young man also erupted his strength to the limit and used his trump card. Inferno God Extinction, Eternal Fall. The young man activated his strongest body and held the pitch-black demonic spear in his hand, cutting through the sky. Countless scenes of hell appeared. It was as if he wanted to pull his opponent's physical body and essence spirit into an eternal hell. This was a terrifying, forbidden technique. No matter how strong the opponent was, they would have to die. But the person he was facing was Jun Xiaoyao. Moreover, it was Jun Xiaoyao after his cultivation realm had skyrocketed and his strength had transformed. Jun Xiaoyao activated the fourth Paragon technique. The Paragon's divine blood in his body surged and burned. His entire body was wrapped in resplendent divine flames. He was like a god of chaos that had awakened, releasing boundless power. He raised his hand and activated the great Tao of origin, Genesis, light of God. And that wisp of light that opened up the chaos didn't directly shoot out. Instead, it augmented the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo. In an instant, the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo emitted an unprecedented resplendent light. It was a sword embryo that was unparalleled in attack and incomparably sharp. Augmented by this wisp of divine light, it was simply like adding wings to a tiger. There was also Jun Xiaoyao. Under the augmentation of the fourth Paragon technique, the power of this attack increased by several times. As a result, this move was boundlessly powerful. It could simply pierce through the universe. Swoosh! The Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo released in eternal sharpness. Even a universe could be sliced apart. Boom! The young man's ultimate move was directly split into two under the Sword Embryo's divine light. Even the Avicii Hell was about to be sliced apart. The young man spat out a mouthful of blood. The pitch-black demonic spear was held horizontally in front of him, wanting to block the attack. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. The supreme demonic weapon was directly shattered by the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo. Its essence was directly absorbed by the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo. Poochie! The sound of flesh being pierced rang out. The young man's figure paused. He lowered his head slightly. A huge hole appeared in his chest. His internal organs had all disappeared. Not only that, when the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo pierced through, its power almost destroyed his primordial spirit. Ow! How is this possible? The god is dead. The demon is destroyed, but I'm still alive. How did I die in your hands? The young man couldn't believe it. The light in his eyes disappeared. His primordial spirit had already been shattered into nothingness. Plop! A corpse fell to the ground. Are all seed-level heavenly talents this hard to kill? Do I even need to use so many methods? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly, not too satisfied with his own performance. However, if the foreign creatures were to learn of this, they would definitely be shocked, their souls about to fly out. This is one of the 6 apocalyptic kings in the legends of the apocalypse. Was it really okay to kill him so easily? However, in reality, Jun Xiaoyao did use the Zenith Heaven Sword Embryo, source great Tao divine ability, as well as the fourth supreme being technique, together with his own primal chaos physique. This darkness echelon member's death wasn't unjust. Suddenly, a streak of black light appeared from the young man's corpse, directly entering Jun Xiaoyao's body. Jun Xiaoyao lowered his head and raised his wrist. He saw it. A dark hexagram imprint appeared on his wrist. Jun Xiaoyao was a bit confused. An ancient and boundless voice suddenly sounded in his mind, carrying a demonic intent that made one fall into endless darkness. World destruction, 6 kings, upholding the will of heaven, wiping out the celestial realm. Thou art the darkness echelon. Chapter 9:11. 6 Kings of Destruction. Destroy the celestial realm? Sequence 1. These words made Jun Xiaoyao a little stunned. From the looks of it, it seemed that after he killed this young man, he seized the mark on his body and then obtained some kind of qualification. Interesting. Could it be that I replaced a dark sequence and will become one of the 6 kings of destruction who will destroy the celestial realm in the future? Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. He felt that this misunderstanding was a little too big. In the beginning, he only thought that he had killed a seed-level prodigy who had just awakened. Now, it seemed that he had killed an incredible existence. However, Jun Xiaoyao's expression remained calm, and his mind remained calm. Although this young man's background wasn't small, Jun Xiaoyao didn't care. If he killed him, then so be it. He didn't have any complacency or pride in it. To Jun Xiaoyao, killing a member of the Dark Echelon was not a big deal. But if this was known by the beings of the foreign realm, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. With a thought, Jun Xiaoyao's hexagram mark on his wrist slowly disappeared. Now, Jun Xiaoyao still wanted to investigate some information in the foreign realm. If the hexagram mark was known by outsiders, it might cause some unnecessary trouble. Next, it's time to sign in. Jun Xiaoyao came to the depths of the heavenly tomb. Soon, a mechanical notification sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have arrived at the sign-in location. Do you want to sign in? Sign in. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have obtained an 8-star reward, Heaven Illuminator. Heaven Illuminator? Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. This name was quite domineering. He immediately checked the information of the Heaven Illuminator. After some investigation, Jun Xiaoyao came to a realization. It turned out that the Heaven Illuminator could project his own power into the myriad worlds. In fact, as long as one piously worshipped Jun Xiaoyao and recited Jun Xiaoyao's name, a portion of this power could also be manifested and transferred to those believers. So this is used to show off? Jun Xiaoyao hit the nail on the head and saw through the use of the Heaven Illuminator. He recalled a certain famous foreign king, his descendant piously calling out his true name, able to manifest a portion of his divine weapon and power. Of course, the stronger one's cultivation, the stronger one's ability to illuminate the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao could be considered to have truly stepped into the ranks of the strongest. However, compared to the great emperors and immortal kings, he was still far from it. However, it was definitely enough to scare people. In the future, the more powerful I become, the more powerful the heaven-illuminating power will be. Perhaps I can really achieve that. Those who chant my true name will see eternal life in the cycle of reincarnation. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up. He was confident in himself. From the looks of it, the ability to illuminate the heavens didn't have much of an effect on Jun Xiaoyao. It could only intimidate people and gather believers. But in the future, it would be of great use to Jun Xiaoyao. After signing in, Jun Xiaoyao also prepared to leave the heavenly tomb. As for the quasi-innate sacred body, Tao embryo, he would let it slowly transform. In the future, its ability would definitely not be inferior to the chaotic physique. At that time, Jun Xiaoyao would be able to sweep through everything when he activated his invincible form. What germinating seeds! What era of blooming wildflowers! Jun Xiaoyao alone was capable of overpowering the entire world and ruling over the world. The era that belonged to Jun Xiaoyao alone would descend once again. This day wouldn't be too far away. Next, I'll leave the heavenly tomb and investigate all kinds of information about the foreign realm. The sole book of the 9 great heavenly books is very likely in the hands of Qi Hongyu of the Scarlet Owl bloodline. There's also that ghost-masked woman's relationship with the Nirvana tribe. The most important thing is still my father. After the battle between him and the Scarlet Owl King, how is he? Is he really in the foreign realm? Jun Xiaoyao sorted out his thoughts. There were many things he had to do in the foreign realm. Right now, he had the heavenly black blood, the sky-stealing, sun-swapping technique, and the chaotic physique. It could be said to be the perfect disguise. No one could associate him with Jun Xiaoyao. Coupled with the dark sequence mark of the hexagram, Jun Xiaoyao was simply more like a foreign creature than a foreign creature. He began to walk leisurely out of the heavenly tomb. At the same time, at the border between the central region and the inner region of the heavenly tomb, swoosh! A nimble and beautiful figure flashed past. She was even more agile than a civet. Behind her, a group of royal creatures were chasing after her. A royal prodigy's face flushed red as he shouted in embarrassment. "Damn it, be asterisk to sich. Stop right there. How dare you deceive and trick us?" In front, The petite figure stopped for a moment. She turned around and made a face at the group of royal prodigies, sticking out her tongue. "Serves you right. It's you idiots who are too stupid. You can't see through my illusions." It was a pink-clothed girl who looked to be in her teens. She had a head of soft white hair that was as bright as satin. It set off her small face that was the size of a palm. She looked exactly like a white porcelain doll. Her skin was tender, her big eyes were delicate, and her eyelashes were long. She looked around and was extremely lively. Her nose was delicate and tall, and her lips were a little cherry red. Ling Long was so cute that it was as if she could be played with in the palm of one's hand. Her bare feet were as white as snow, and there was a red rope tied around her ankle. The soles of her feet were fleshy and sparkling. The strange thing was that her bare feet were not stained by the slightest bit of dust. The interior of the heavenly tomb is up ahead. If you step in, you will definitely die. I advise you to quickly hand over the blood phoenix, immortal herb. The group of royal creatures berated. During this period of time, there were all sorts of movements in the heavenly tomb, attracting many people to come to search for treasures. This group of royal prodigies had finally found a rare blood phoenix, immortal herb, after much difficulty. In the end, a strange, white-haired old man suddenly appeared. They were instinctively scared half to death and hurriedly handed over the blood phoenix, immortal herb. In the end, they immediately noticed that something was wrong. As expected, the white-haired old man who appeared strangely was actually the white-haired little girl in front of them who had disguised herself with an illusion technique. This made the group of royal prodigies explode with anger. How could they tolerate being played like this? That was why they chased all the way here. Seeing this, the white-haired lowly revealed a look of success. She took out a fox mask from the treasure pouch on her slender waist and put it on. With a bang, smoke rose. She actually turned into that white-haired old man again. "Juniors, why aren't you kneeling down when you see me? F*CKU. The group of royal prodigies was furious. How could they tolerate this kind of mockery? Go, capture that white-haired little girl alive. The group of royal creatures was so angry that their stomachs hurt, and they surrounded her. Hee hee, you two idiots, goodbye, I'm leaving now. The white-haired lowly changed back to her original form and stuck out her pink tongue. Runes intertwined under her feet, and her figure was extremely fast as she rushed into the distance. After a while, the group of people chased and was about to enter the interior of the heavenly tomb. The white-haired lowly suddenly stopped in her tracks. In front of her was the depths of the heavenly tomb. All kinds of strange black fog floated. There were also void rifts, terrifying incomplete formations, strange quagmires, and so on. It could be said that even Supremes did not dare to casually enter. "Ha ha! Run, you damn girl! Run again if you dare!" The group of royal creatures sneered. However, at this moment, rumble. There was movement in the depths of the heavenly tomb. Heaven and earth shook, and fog surged. It was as if a peerless evil was about to appear. What is that? The group of royal creatures was terrified, and their hearts skipped a beat. Could it be that they had really alarmed the strange and ominous inside the heavenly tomb? The white-haired lowly was also a little surprised. Her small hand reached for the treasure pouch on her waist. She was ready to use her means to escape. Boom! All kinds of black fog, strange, incomplete formations, and broken Tao runes were crushed and shattered. A slender figure in white leisurely walked out from within. Chapter 9:12. Dead silence. Absolute dead silence. That was not an ordinary place, but the depths of the heavenly tomb. The heavenly tomb itself was an eerie, forbidden land of 10,000 years. Not to mention the interior of the heavenly tomb, it was a land of death that no one dared to step into. Any quagmire or a corner of a broken formation could take a person's life. Even a treasure hunter wouldn't dare to take a single step into it. But now, what do they see? A white-robed figure without the slightest bit of worldly aura. He walked out from the depths of the heavenly tomb as light as a feather. All kinds of eerie, killing formations and broken Tao patterns were directly crushed, unable to stop that figure at all. It was as if the heavenly tomb was a forbidden land of 10,000 years to that white-robed figure. It was as if it was his own backyard, and he could enter and leave as he pleased. How shocking was that? The group of royal beings were all stunned, and their jaws almost fell to the ground. Who was that powerful person? Not to mention them. Even the white-haired lowly, who had seen a lot, widened her glass-like eyes and opened her cherry mouth as wide as possible in shock. Could it be that the sleeping old antique has awakened? The royal beings were shocked as they guessed in their hearts. However, looking at his appearance, he did not look like an antique. That white-robed figure's face was faintly discernible with a hazy mist, making it difficult to see clearly. However, looking at his appearance, he did not look like an old man. Could it be that a quasi-emperor or immortal emperor prodigy went deep and came out now? Another royal creature was making guesses. However, they vaguely felt that even a prodigy from an emperor race would not be able to stroll in the depths of the heavenly tomb like it was his backyard, right? But no matter what, they were certain that the mysterious white-robed man was definitely not someone they could provoke. At that moment, the atmosphere fell into a strange silence. The royal beings' bodies stiffened, and they did not dare to be impudent at all. They did not even dare to breathe heavily. As for the white-haired lowly, she rolled her eyes and followed behind the white-robed figure. She purposely acted obedient and revealed a sweet and cute smile as she asked, "Senior, where did you come from?" "Me?" A voice as gentle as jade rang out. Wow, it sounds like a handsome guy, the white-haired lowly thought. That voice could definitely make one orgasm. "I came from the heavenly tomb." That one sentence scared those royal prodigies out of their wits. Some of them collapsed to the ground. Coming from the heavenly tomb, what kind of existence was this? As for the six-pointed star phenomenon from before, it was because it appeared in the entire foreign realm. Thus, no one was certain that the dark echelon was in the heavenly tomb. Naturally, you would not think of Jun Xiaoyao at this moment. They only felt that the white-clothed man in front of them was too mysterious. They didn't even have the courage to investigate. After Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, he left with his hands clasped behind his back. The white-haired lowly followed, right behind Jun Xiaoyao, as if she was a shadow. That girl deserves to die. He watched as the white-haired lowly left with a mysterious white-clothed man. The group of royal prodigies were infuriated, but on the surface, they did not dare to act rashly. They did not dare to offend that existence. Therefore, he could only grit his teeth and swallow it. Within the heavenly tomb, a strange scene was playing out. A mysterious, handsome man in snow-white clothes walked leisurely in front, and behind him, a tiny white-haired lowly followed, closely behind like a puppy. They were silent along the way. Only when they were hundreds of miles away did Jun Xiaoyao stop in his tracks. Without even turning his head, he said indifferently, "How long do you want to follow me for?" The white-haired lowly chuckled. Her large glass-like eyes turned as she approached Jun Xiaoyao, wanting to see Jun Xiaoyao's appearance clearly. Jun Xiaoyao did not deliberately change his appearance. After all, being handsome was a lifelong thing. Of course, the main reason was that Jun Xiaoyao had the sky-stealing, sun-swapping technique. He could even blur karma, so he was not afraid of being discovered. In addition, his face was shrouded in a faint layer of mist, making it even harder for others to recognize his true identity. The white-haired lowly's large eyes flashed. She had also cultivated some kind of eye technique that could see through many illusions in the world. But what surprised her was that she could not completely see through the man in front of her. However, the corner of his face that was vaguely visible in the mist made the white-haired lowly hold her breath. He was so much more handsome than she had imagined. At first, she thought that the person who came out of the heavenly tomb would be an old monster or a middle-aged man. But she did not expect him to be so young and so handsome. "No, Chun-Chun, you're not such a superficial woman," the white-haired lowly named Chun-Chun said in her heart. However, the mysterious origin of Jun Xiaoyao piqued Chun-Chun's curiosity. Chun-Chun just wants to find out his identity. "Yes, there is absolutely no other meaning," Chun-Chun said firmly. "Little one, What do you want to find out? Sensing the fluctuation of the eye technique, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Chun Chun wrinkled her nose when she heard that. No one dared to call her little one, although she was indeed little one. Thank you for saving Chun Chun, Senior. This blood phoenix immortal herb is for you. Chun Chun pretended to be obedient and took out the blood phoenix immortal herb. A stalk of immortal herb was shockingly valuable even in the foreign realm. No need, I didn't save you, Jun Xiaoyao said. He was indeed just passing by and did not make a move. Jun Xiaoyao's attitude made Chun Chun believe that he had an extraordinary background. Even the emperor race prodigies needed the immortal herb to cultivate. But Jun Xiaoyao did not take it seriously at all. In fact, it was also because Jun Xiaoyao did not lack the immortal herb at all. Jun Xiaoyao continued to move forward, and Chun Chun followed behind like a little tail. Interesting, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes had a hint of deep meaning and playfulness. He did not expect to meet this race as soon as he came out of the depths of the heavenly tomb. Should he say that he was fated to meet this race? Of course, Jun Xiaoyao did not point out. He felt that this white-haired lowly was also a chess piece that had value. So he just let her follow him. It was definitely not because Jun Xiaoyao was obsessed with white hair. However, when he thought of white hair, Jun Xiaoyao thought of the woman whose hair turned white overnight because of him. I wonder how Sister Xingyi is doing, but she probably won't believe the fact that I died. Jun Xiaoyao sighed slightly in his heart. He knew that he owed this woman a lot. He could not return to the celestial realm in a short time. Jun Xiaoyao's melancholy quickly disappeared. He was not one to get emotional over the passing of time, so he quickly adjusted his emotions. Of course, Chun Chun, the white-haired lowly, was beside him, constantly testing him. Chun Chun, may I know Senior's name? Just call me Mr. Mr.? Chun Chun was puzzled. Because I like to preach and educate people, Jun Xiaoyao said. I know about preaching and educating people. Do you like to teach? No, I like to educate people biologically. Jun Xiaoyao had nothing to do, so he teased the lowly. As expected, Chun Chun immediately distanced herself from Jun Xiaoyao. She covered her poor chest with her hands and looked vigilant. Chapter 9:13. Naturally, Chun Chun's age could not be judged by her appearance. However, because of the simple environment in which she grew up, she was protected and doted on since she was a child, so she could maintain such a naive and straightforward character. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head lightly. She wouldn't be a legal lowly like Jiang Luoli, would she? Chun Chun also realized that Jun Xiaoyao was teasing her. She couldn't help but snort. Sir, don't scare me. I'm not a child anymore. I can already give birth to children. Chun Chun's words made Jun Xiaoyao speechless. If she was like this, if she really did something in his previous life, it would not be as simple as prison food. Next, Jun Xiaoyao also left the heavenly tomb. Chun Chun naturally followed him. Along the way, Chun Chun chirped like a lark. When she was hungry, she took out a drumstick from the treasure pouch at her waist and gnawed on it. It could be seen that she should like to eat chicken very much. As a cultivator, she only needed to absorb the essence of heaven and earth and didn't need to eat. Obviously, this white-haired lowly was just greedy. Sir, where are you going next? Chun Chun asked. Wandering around, Jun Xiaoyao said simply. If he wanted to collect information, he needed to travel more. Then, do you know about the upcoming celestial immortal banquet in the heavenly tomb state? Chun Chun asked. Celestial immortal banquet? Only then did Jun Xiaoyao remember. When he preached to Fei Qingxue, he seemed to have heard about the celestial immortal banquet from the royal creatures. Yes, there are many magical places in the heavenly tomb state. In addition to the heavenly tomb, there is also a place called the Fallen Immortal Ridge. There is a celestial immortal tree in the Fallen Immortal Ridge. It is said that it is an ancient tree nourished by a drop of immortal blood, and its leaves contain immortal patterns. Tea made with immortal spirit leaves can make people comprehend the Tao on the spot with just a cup. In addition, there is an even rarer celestial immortal fruit. It bears fruit once in 1,000 years, and there are only a few fruits now. At this point, Chun Chun was drooling. She came to the heavenly tomb state to participate in the heavenly immortal banquet. It would be even better if she could taste a heavenly immortal fruit. Jun Xiaoyao also got some information from Chun Chun. The place he was in was one of the foreign sides, 10 great provinces, Heavenly Tomb, Great Province. The Heavenly Immortal Banquet was undoubtedly the most sensational event in recent times. A celestial immortal tree nourished by immortal blood. Jun Xiaoyao's interest was piqued. Moreover, he did not forget that Fei Qingxue, the daughter of Providence and one of his chess pieces, was also going to participate in the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. Coincidentally, he could also meet with this devout believer and begin to plan for the next stage. Then let's go to the Heavenly Immortal Banquet, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Yay! Chun Chun cheered. At the Heavenly Immortal Banquet, young experts would appear. Chun Chun wasn't certain that she could get a celestial immortal fruit either. But with Jun Xiaoyao around, things were different. This mysterious mister from the Heavenly Tomb had a deep and restrained aura. It was so pure that no one could see through him. But she instinctively felt that those young geniuses of the Heavenly Tomb Great Province were definitely no match for this mister. Next, Jun Xiaoyao and Chun Chun went to the venue of the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. Along the way, with Chun Chun around, Jun Xiaoyao was not bored. It was equivalent to picking up a pet. Chun Chun was very dissatisfied with Jun Xiaoyao, calling her Tiny Tot. Sometimes, she would directly take out a fox mask from the treasure pouch at her waist and put on her face. Smoke rose, and with a shake of her body, she transformed into a great beauty with a curvy figure. What do you think, mister? Am I big? Chun Chun giggled. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. He found that Chun Chun's illusion was very powerful. She was like a little witch who could change her appearance. The Heavenly Immortal Banquet was held in the fallen Immortal Ridge, and there was an ancient city 100 miles away from the fallen Immortal Ridge. This city was usually a little cold and desolate. However, once the date of the Heavenly Immortal Banquet came, this city would be extremely lively. The elites of the royal family, who were pulled by the flaming dragon horses, came in a line. In the sky, there were flying demonic beasts, pulling gorgeous carriages across the void. There were also various flying boats, warships, and bronze chariots. It could be said that it was extremely lively. Among these heavenly talents who gathered, there was no lack of peerless heavenly talents from the royal family and the top royal family. Even the quasi-emperor clans showed up. At this moment, outside the city, a peerless and otherworldly white-clothed man and a delicate and beautiful white-haired young woman arrived at this place. We're finally here, but the Heavenly Immortal Banquet won't start until a few days later. Mister, we can go into the city and wait for a few days, Chun Chun said. Jun Xiaoyao nodded, and the two of them entered. However, when Chun Chun entered, she put on the fox mask again and turned into a little attendant with red lips and white teeth. This matches your temperament, mister, Chun Chun said with a smile. Jun Xiaoyao sighed helplessly. She liked to change so much. At the same time, on a rather bustling street in the city, there were 3 inner and 3 outer layers, surrounded by many foreign creatures. They all looked as if they were waiting to watch a good show. This was because there were 2 royal families confronting each other. These 2 royal families were the Ice Spirit Royal Family and the Fiery Rock Royal Family. Everyone in the Heavenly Tomb state knew about the feud between these 2 royal families. They had been enemies for generations. When the Ice Spirit Royal Family was at its peak, the Fiery Rock Royal Family was suppressed to the point that they couldn't even raise their heads. Now that the Ice Spirit Royal Family was declining, the Fiery Rock Royal Family started to suppress them again. TSK. Looks like Prince Yin is determined to take the Ice Spirit Royal Family's princess, Fei Qingxue, as his concubine. Sigh. But have you heard that Fei Qingxue seems to have obtained a great opportunity in the Heavenly Tomb? That's right. She has broken through to the Sage King realm. I heard that the crippled bone has recovered and seems to have become stronger. Many whispers sounded in the surroundings. In the square, Prince Yin, who was the leader of the Fiery Rock Royal Family, was tall and handsome. He wore a golden imperial robe. His hair was burning like flames, and his eyes were red. Hearing the discussions around him, he had a playful smile on his face as he looked at the beautiful girl opposite him. Fei Qingxue, I didn't expect that you would really find such a great opportunity in the heavenly tomb, turning a chicken into a phoenix. But even so, it doesn't change the fact that the Ice Spirit royal family is declining. You can't change your fate of marrying me as my concubine. Prince Yan's tone had a hint of pride, as if he was judging Fei Qingxue's fate. If Fei Qingxue had heard this before, she might have been embarrassed and angry. But now she just sneered, after seeing the great god of fate and creation. Fei Qingxue thought that even if there was an existence that could control fate, that supreme being should also be the great god of fate and creation. Not Prince Yin in front of her. Her fate could be given to the god of fate and creation, but she would never give it to Prince Yin. Chapter 9:14. You have no more room to consider. The heavenly immortal banquet is about to begin. Why don't you take advantage of this auspicious day and marry me? Prince Yin said lightly. You want to marry me as your concubine? Do you have the ability? Fei Qingxue asked. Her silver hair was as smooth as snow. Her cheeks were elegant, her lips were bright red, and her teeth were sparkling. Her skin was as white as snow. At this moment, her beautiful eyes were filled with confidence and arrogance. She was no longer the crippled bone princess. Do you really think that you can be so arrogant just because you had a fortuitous encounter in the heavenly tomb? Prince Yin narrowed his eyes. In the next moment, his feet flashed, and he pressed down on Fei Qingxue with one hand. Flame runes imprinted in the void, turning into a sea of fire. Facing Prince Yan's attack, Fei Qingxue's lips curled into a cold smile. If it was before, she would have been powerless against Prince Yan. But now, because she had faith in her heart, she was fearless. Rumble. Dazzling icy blue light surged in Fei Qingxue's chest, and an extreme chill surged. One had to know that Jun Xiaoyao had given Fei Qingxue a drop of sovereign divine blood. This drop of sovereign divine blood had transformed Fei Qingxue's crippled icy heavenly bone into an extremely transformed icy Dao bone. The difference of one word was like the difference between heaven and earth. Absolute zero. Fei Qingxue used the Icy Spirit royal family's grand superpower. The icy Dao bone released an unprecedented energy fluctuation, and a cold wave surged out. Prince Yan's expression changed. This was completely beyond his expectations. Its power was so strong that even the sea of fire was frozen. In just a moment, Prince Yin had turned into an ice sculpture. Prince, the surrounding experts of the Cinderclaw royal family were shocked. However, after sensing Prince Yan's life aura, they secretly heaved a sigh of relief. However, when he looked at Fei Qingxue, his eyes were filled with shock. When did the crippled bone princess of the Icy Spirit royal family become so powerful? Even if she had a fortuitous encounter in the heavenly tomb, it was impossible for her to become so strong. Looking at everyone's shocked gazes, Fei Qingxue's expression was calm, but there was a cold smile on her lips. How could such a vulgar person know the power of the gods of fate and creation? A drop of blood and a cultivation technique could change her fate. However, a lazy laugh could be heard all of a sudden. Tisk Tisk, the princess of the Ice Spirit royal family, is quite decisive. Hearing this voice, many people looked in the direction of the voice. 9 crimson flood dragons were pulling a magnificent carriage through the air. After that, a handsome young man with a fur collar and black clothes walked out unhurriedly from the carriage. This handsome young man had an extraordinary temperament and a superior aura. He looked at Fei Qingxue with a nonchalant air of superiority. It's the Black Peacock royal clan, one of the top 10 royal clans. That is the young expert of the Black Peacock royal family, Kong Xiang. This Kong Xiang is not only powerful, but he also has a cousin called Kong Qianqian. Her strength is comparable to the 10 heavenly kings of the younger generation. Not only that, I heard that Kong Qianqian is the future daughter-in-law of an emperor clan. Seeing this handsome young man, many people exclaimed in surprise. The top 10 royal clans were almost the reserve forces of the Boundary Emperor clans. The Scarlet Owl clan was a good example. As long as the Peacock King could break through to the Immortal King realm like the Scarlet Owl King, the Black Peacock royal family would immediately become a Boundary Emperor clan. Therefore, no one dared to provoke the Black Peacock royal family. Not to mention, the Black Peacock royal family also had a genius, Kong Qianqian. Her strength was comparable to that of the 10 heavenly kings. She was the future daughter-in-law of an emperor clan. It could be said that her status was not something that ordinary royal family geniuses could compare to. Even the entire Black Peacock royal family could not be provoked. Seeing Kong Xiang arrive, Fei Qingshue's heart sank. She was not afraid of the Firestone royal family or Prince Yin. However, she was not alone. She had the Ice Spirit royal family behind her. The Black Peacock royal family and the Ice Spirit royal family were not on the same level. She did not have the qualifications to provoke Kong Xiang. Aya, this cheap friend of mine, is really pitiful. He can't even get a woman. Kong Xiang shook his head and clicked his tongue. He had met Prince Yin at a wine and meat gathering. Actually, they did not have a deep friendship. However, Prince Yin's flattery skills were very good, and he managed to curry favor with Kong Xiang. Kong Xiang was also happy to have someone flatter him. Therefore, he said that Prince Yin could come to him if he had any difficulties. Kong Xiang would not be bothered to help if he was in big trouble. However, Kong Xiang was still willing to help when it came to small matters like snatching a woman. Kong Xiang raised his hand. Divine light flowed in his palm. Then, he slapped Prince Yin, who had already been frozen into an ice sculpture. A series of cracking sounds rang out. The ice on Prince Yin's body cracked and fell off. Prince Yin's body trembled as he gasped for breath. "You bitch!" Prince Yin immediately glared at Fei Qingxue, his eyes filled with anger. "Prince Yin, you are in a sorry state. You can't even deal with a woman." Kong Xiang sighed. "So it is Brother Kong Xiang. Many thanks for Brother Kong Xiang's help." When Prince Yin saw Kong Xiang, he bowed. He no longer had the pride of a royal clan prince. When the other Fiery Rock royal clan experts saw this, they did not find anything wrong with it. In the foreign lands, those with high status and strong strength would be respected. "It looks like your concubine is not very obedient," Kong Xiang said. "I have made a fool of myself in front of Brother Kong Xiang." Prince Yin blushed with shame. "It's fine. We are friends. It is just a small matter. Could it be that this Ice Spirit royal clan dares to reject me?" Kong Xiang smiled, not minding it. "In that case, I will thank Brother Kong Xiang in advance." Prince Yin was overjoyed. Then, he turned to look at Fei Qingxue with a cold and tyrannical expression. When Prince Yin obtained Fei Qingxue, he would definitely properly teach her a lesson. Kong Xiang looked at Fei Qingxue. Fei Qingxue was extremely beautiful and had an excellent aura, like a snow lotus on an ice mountain. However, as the pride of the Black Peacock royal clan, he had seen many beauties. He would not snatch her away. "It is your honor that my friend has taken a liking to you. Today, after the Heavenly Immortal Banquet, Prince Yin will take you as his concubine." "No objections," Kong Xiang said indifferently. These words did not give Fei Qingxue a choice at all. He also did not think that Fei Qingxue would dare to reject him. However, in the next moment, Fei Qingxue's words stunned Kong Xiang. "I, Fei Qingxue, will not become Prince Yan's concubine even if I die. Also, you are disgusting too." Fei Qingxue's tone was cold, not giving Kong Xiang any face. She did not know why. If it was in the past, she might have been afraid, hesitant. However, after seeing that supreme existence in the heavenly tomb, she suddenly felt relieved. If she could not even control her own fate, then what qualifications did she have to become a devout believer of the God of fate and creation? Chapter 9:15. "What did you say?" Kong Xiang was stunned. He thought he was hallucinating. She was the princess of the Ice Spirit royal family, which had fallen so far that it was about to fall out of the 100 royal families. How dare she speak to him with such an attitude? It felt like a slave stepping on his master's head. She didn't even care about seniority. "I won't repeat myself." Fei Qingxue stood there. Her figure was slim, like a plum blossom in winter. Although she had gone through the harsh winter, she still bloomed proudly, blooming with her own beauty and perseverance. Who said that women couldn't control their own fate? Fei Qingxue, how dare you speak to Brother Kong Xiang like that? Prince Yan shouted. If Fei Qingxue continued to talk back, it wouldn't be a matter of becoming his concubine. It would be another matter if she could survive. The surrounding foreign creatures all sucked in a cold breath of air, extremely shocked and surprised. Fei Qingxue's guts are simply too big. It was no different from courting death. Interesting, very interesting. I've seen many women who pretend to be virtuous. But in the end, they still kneel at my feet one by one and rush to lick my shoes. Kong Xiang smiled, but his smile was a little cold. He slowly raised his hand. Divine light surged in his palm. It was the Black Peacock royal family's secret technique, killing light. A wave of great saint realm cultivation spread out. At his age, he was already considered a monster to have reached the supreme saint realm. Fei Qingxue's expression was grave, although she had obtained an opportunity to break through to the Saint King realm. But obviously, it was impossible for her to catch up with those top royal family geniuses in a short time. Just as Kong Xiang was about to make a move, a few rainbows flew over from afar. They were the Ice Spirit royal family elders. Young Master Kong Xiang, please forgive our Fei Qingxue for talking back. We will arrange for her to marry Prince Yan. These elders of the Icy Spirit royal family were all very humble and humble. Elders, all of you, Fei Qingxue bit her lip. Indeed, she wasn't alone. She had the Ice Spirit royal family behind her. If she really angered Kong Xiang, the entire Ice Spirit royal family would be in great danger. As if he saw the hesitation in Fei Qingxue's eyes, Kong Xiang revealed a playful look. AI, this young master is actually very easy to talk to. Let this Fei Qingxue kneel, crawl to my feet, and lick my shoes. Then, this matter will be over, Kong Xiang said calmly. Young Master Kong Xiang, the elders of the Icy Spirit royal family clenched their fists tightly, their pupils trembling. His heart was filled with rage, but he did not dare to show it. They had already lowered their posture very much, almost as if they were the sons of a B*TCH. Yet, this Kong Xiang actually dared to humiliate him like this. Prince Yan opened his mouth, wanting to say something. However, in the end, he didn't dare to open his mouth. Fei Qingxue would become his concubine in the future. Now, she had to crawl on the streets and lick Kong Xiang's shoes. To Prince Yan, this was a loss of face. He might even be laughed at, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Fei Qingxue's delicate body trembled slightly. Her silver eyes seemed to have stirred up a biting cold wind. You don't want to do it? Sure, but I wonder if your Ice Spirit royal family can bear the consequences? Kong Xiang asked indifferently. Fei Qingxue took a deep breath, her nails digging into her palms. Grasping one's own fate might be very simple. At worst, it would just be death. However, grasping the fate of an entire race was very difficult. Fei Qingxue revealed a somewhat bleak smile. This was the cold and iron-blooded law of the jungle in this foreign land. If one was weak, had a weak status, and had a weak background, there was no dignity to speak of. Just as Fei Qingxue was struggling, a voice as gentle as jade suddenly rang out. I think that you can give a demonstration first. This voice was both near and far. However, it seemed to resound in everyone's ears. Many people were startled and looked around. Who is it? Who would have the guts to provoke Kong Xiang at this time? The crowd in front was pushed aside by a strange aura. Two figures leisurely walked over. The one in the lead was dressed in white. He had a slender figure and a restrained aura. He was like a bottomless pit, making it hard for others to see through him. His face seemed to be shrouded in mist. However, one could vaguely see a corner of his face. He looked like a celestial being, stunning everyone. Beside the white-robed man was a petite little attendant with red lips and white teeth. She blinked her big eyes and looked at the situation curiously. They were none other than Jun Xiaoyao and Chun Chun. Which family is this young master from? Some of the foreign land creatures were stunned and very curious. However, no matter how they probed, They couldn't sense Jun Xiaoyao's aura at all, let alone his cultivation level. Even his appearance was like looking at flowers in the mist. They only felt that he was very stunning, but they couldn't remember clearly afterward. This was naturally the effect of the sky-stealing, sun-swapping technique. However, in any case, Jun Xiaoyao was very mysterious in everyone's eyes. Who are you? Kong Xiang looked at Jun Xiaoyao and frowned. He couldn't sense Jun Xiaoyao's aura either. However, he only thought that Jun Xiaoyao had some kind of Dharma artifact that blocked his senses. He definitely didn't think that this ridiculously young man would be stronger than him. Who I am is not important. What's important is whether you can demonstrate how to lie on the ground and lick a shoe, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Haha, the hero saving the beauty. This is a bit tacky. Besides, do you have the capital to save him? Kong Xiang smiled, revealing his white and shiny teeth. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled as well, refusing to comment on the matter. He stood up naturally because Fei Qingxue was the lady of luck that he had personally created. He even gave her a drop of precious supreme divine blood. How could such a chess piece be forced to death by Kong Xiang? Wouldn't that ruin his plan? Jun Xiaoyao had always been merciless to people who ruined his plans. Fei Qingxue also looked at Jun Xiaoyao with her beautiful eyes. She couldn't help but be amazed by him. Jun Xiaoyao's temperament was excellent. He was like a celestial being who walked in the chaotic world. However, why would he help her? The few Ice Spirit royal family elders were also puzzled. However, they didn't think that this white-clothed prince could suppress Kong Xiang. However, before Kong Xiang could get angry, Prince Yin jumped out from the side and said, "Who are you? How dare you be so presumptuous?" Jun Xiaoyao's eyes narrowed, and a chaotic divine light flashed in his eyes. His gaze was like an invisible chaotic sword light. The void trembled. A loud boom sounded. Puff! Prince Yan's entire body and primordial spirit exploded at the same time. Blood mist and broken bones were blown away by the wind. All of a sudden, the entire area fell into absolute silence. All the onlookers were shocked and felt their scalps go numb. It was as if a basin of cold water had been poured on their hearts. Killing a royal heavenly talent with a gaze? What kind of heaven-defying technique was this? Chapter 9:16. Gasps could be heard from all around. Their eyes were filled with unprecedented shock and disbelief. Prince Yin was a top prodigy of a cinder-classed royal family. Although he couldn't be compared to the 10 heavenly kings, he was still quite famous among the younger generation of the heavenly tomb state. Yet, he was killed by a single glare. How terrifying was that? What was even more terrifying was that Jun Xiaoyao didn't release any aura throughout the entire process. As a result, no one could figure out what cultivation level Jun Xiaoyao was at. The entire place was as silent as cicadas in winter. No one could react in time. Even Kong Xiang felt that it was unreal for a moment. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent. He could kill such a person with a casual glare when he was in the divine ruins. Not to mention now that his cultivation level and strength had increased greatly. A glare was more than enough. You're courting death. Those cinder-classed royal family experts were stunned for a few breaths before they reacted, because even they themselves thought that they were hallucinating. All the cinder-classed royal family experts' eyes turned red. If Prince Yin died, the guards wouldn't be able to escape death either. Therefore, all of them charged forward with bloodshot eyes. There was no lack of great sage perfection experts among them. This was a very powerful cultivation level in the foreign realm. However, Jun Xiaoyao only glanced at them. Chaotic divine light surged in his eyes. His eyes seemed to have turned into primordial chaotic black holes. This was also an ability of the chaotic physique, the chaotic eye. Bang, 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 bang. A series of explosions sounded. The heads of those cinder-classed royal family experts exploded like watermelons. Blood mist drifted in the sky. The noisy street fell into absolute silence. Fei Qingxue couldn't help but cover her red lips with her jade-like hand. She was too shocked. When did such a powerful and mysterious prodigy appear in the heavenly tomb state? Kong Xiang's face stiffened. He was completely dumbfounded. His eyeballs almost fell out of their sockets. It wasn't that he had never seen a true top prodigy. He had even seen monarch race prodigies. However, no matter how powerful they were, they would at least be able to kill them. How could they be like this mysterious, white-clothed young man in front of him? He could kill with a casual glance. Just how powerful was he? Or did he have some kind of special physique? Perhaps this was not a young man at all, but an old monster? Say, Senior, why are you pretending to be young and fooling us? Kong Xiang braced himself and asked. To possess such an ability, one must have at least broken through the 9th level of the Saint Realm and stepped into the 7th level of the Martial Saint Realm. This kind of person, even in the top royal families, was an existence of the older generation. He wasn't someone he could offend. Senior, I'm not worthy of this status, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Everyone could hear the hint of mockery in his words. The corners of Kong Xiang's eyes twitched, and he felt as if his heart was being squeezed by a large hand. It was extremely uncomfortable. He had always been in a high position, playing with those lower life forms as he pleased. In the end, at this moment, he himself had become a lower life form that was being controlled by Jun Xiaoyao at will. His cultivation base was also at the Great Saint Realm, which was similar to the elites of the Cinderstone royal family. If Jun Xiaoyao could kill them with a single glance, he could naturally kill Kong Xiang as well. I've said it before. You can demonstrate how to lie on the ground and lick someone else's shoes, Jun Xiaoyao said. Kong Xiang's pupils constricted, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Jun Xiaoyao's humiliation was even worse than killing him. Why? You can order others around, but you can't do it yourself? That's because my status is higher than hers, and I'm stronger than her. Kong Xiang gritted his teeth and said, That's simple. I'm stronger than you, so I can kill you now. Jun Xiaoyao's words carried a hint of coldness and killing intent. Kong Xiang took a deep breath and stared at Jun Xiaoyao. Don't go too far. I'm from the Black Peacock royal family. My cousin is Kong Qianqian, and she's engaged to someone from the Immortal Emperor family. Kong Xiang brought out his backer. Kong Qianqian alone might not be able to suppress this mysterious man in front of him. However, with the Immortal Emperor family, it should be enough. After all, the Immortal Emperor family was a heaven-like existence in the foreign realm. They were the highest law. There was a saying in the foreign realm. Even if it was a dog that walked out of the Immortal Emperor family, they had to be treated like an ancestor. Hearing this, the surrounding foreign realm creatures secretly nodded. This Kong Xiang really knew how to borrow power. The Immortal Emperor family was indeed very intimidating. Although that Kong Qianqian was very likely just one of the concubines of the Immortal Emperor family prodigy. Jun Xiaoyao laughed. He felt that it was very laughable. In the world of the Divine Ruins, Tushan Xiao Xiao and Pu Yao from the Immortal Emperor family were beaten like dogs by him. In the end, Kong Xiang actually used Kong Qianqian and her Immortal Emperor family fiancé to threaten him. It was really absurd and laughable. Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything. Chun Chun curled her lips and said, What's the big deal about marrying into an Immortal Emperor family? She's just a concubine, nothing more than a fart. The group of foreign realm creatures were dumbfounded when they heard this. This little attendant's words were really shocking. All right, my patience is limited. Jun Xiaoyao casually stepped out. Boom! Kong Xiang's entire body was directly pressed to the ground by a terrifying aura. His limbs were spread open like a tortoise. A feeling of being on the verge of death descended on Kong Xiang's heart. He had no doubt that if he didn't do as he was told, he would be crushed in the next moment. I'll do it, I'll do it. Kong Xiang slowly crawled toward Jun Xiaoyao like a dog. The entire place was dead silent. Who would have thought that one of the top 10 royal families, the pride of the Black Peacock royal family, would crawl like a dog in the downtown area and lick someone's shoes? The Ice Spirit royal family elders were also petrified and a little dumbfounded. Young master, where did you come from? How dare you offend the Black Peacock royal family like this? Yeah, he offended both the Fiery Rock royal family and the Black Peacock royal family. The Ice Spirit royal family elders were still in disbelief. Only Fei Qingxua looked at Jun Xiaoyao with eyes that had never been brighter before. She knew that Jun Xiaoyao insisted on making Kong Xiang lick his shoes on the ground to vent her anger. Why? Fei Qingxue was overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. Why did this mysterious and peerless young master care about her so much? Kong Xiang's face was full of humiliation. Blood dripped from the corners of his mouth and chin. Like a dead dog, he crawled toward Jun Xiaoyao's feet. He endured the extreme humiliation and wanted to lick Jun Xiaoyao's shoes. But the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao stomped his foot. Bang! A blast of air rose, and Kong Xiang's entire body exploded. His body and primordial spirit no longer existed. Sorry, I'm a clean freak. Jun Xiaoyao's indifferent words fell like a feather falling to the ground. Everyone around was stunned and then incomparably horrified. The pride of the top royal family was killed just like that, and he killed him after toying with him. This young master was a ruthless person. The Ice Spirit royal family elders were stunned, and their scalps went numb. This was going to pierce through the sky. The surrounding atmosphere instantly boiled and exploded. Jun Xiaoyao walked in front of Fei Qingxue indifferently, an inexplicable look in his eyes. It was time to continue fooling this daughter of Providence. Aren't you going to entertain me? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Oh, okay, young master. Come with Qingxue. Fei Qingxue was startled like a frightened rabbit at first. Then her fair skin instantly turned red with a trace of panic and shyness. Seeing this, Chun rolled her eyes. Was the handsome guy going to harm a good girl again? Fei Qingxue led Jun Xiaoyao and Chun to the Ice Spirit royal family's encampment. The elders of the Ice Spirit royal family, however, looked worried and followed him. There was a lot of noise around. Oh my God, who is that young master in white? Is he really the heir of an emperor family? I've never heard of him, but if he doesn't have a powerful background, he probably can't afford to offend the Black Peacock royal family, right? Then let's wait and see. Kong Xiang's death, his cousin Kong Qianqian will definitely not let him go. When the Heavenly Immortal Banquet begins, there will be a good show. Chapter 9:17. The entire ancient city was in an uproar. Countless people were talking about Jun Xiaoyao. He was very curious about this mysterious young man in white. As for Kong Xiang, he came to the ancient city in advance to support Prince Yan. In the end, he even lost his life. His cousin, Kong Qianqian, would come on the day of the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. One could imagine that the real show would begin when the Heavenly Immortal Banquet began. At this moment, in the western area of the ancient city, there was a rather exquisite courtyard. It was the residence of the Ice Spirit royal family. Fei Qingxue brought Jun Xiaoyao and Chun here. The three of them entered a pavilion. As for the Ice Spirit royal family elders, they were discussing something with a worried look on their faces. At the same time, they were also sending messages to Heavenly Venerable Ice Spirit. After all, the incident this time was too big. They had offended the Firestone royal family and the Black Peacock royal family. Perhaps the Ice Spirit royal family would also be implicated. In the foreign realm, it was not uncommon for a family to be wiped out. At this moment, in the pavilion, Jun Xiaoyao sat in the seat of honor. Chun sat beside him. Fei Qingxue stood there respectfully. She knew that no matter where this man in white came from, he was definitely not someone she could be rude to. Besides, Fei Qingxue was extremely grateful to Jun Xiaoyao. After all, not everyone could offend the Firestone royal family and the Black Peacock royal family for a stranger. Little one, you go out first, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. Chun wrinkled her little nose when she heard that. Although she did not like this title, she still let out a snort and left. In the pavilion, only Jun Xiaoyao and Fei Qingxue were left. Fei Qingxue was inexplicably nervous. Why did this man ask the others to go out? Was it like in the stories, where the hero saved the beauty and promised to marry her? But for some reason, Fei Qingxue did not feel too disgusted or resistant. This was definitely not because the man in white in front of her was handsome and strong. Well, that was definitely not the case. Do you know why I saved you? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Qingxue doesn't know. Fei Qingxue lowered her head. Jun Xiaoyao suddenly stood up. A vast aura overflowed from it. In the next moment, her surroundings changed. Fei Qingxue seemed to have been pulled into the depths of the vast starry sky. A familiar aura and pressure caused Fei Qingxue's expression to change abruptly. Her face was filled with deep shock. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao, her heart beating rapidly. Could it be? I am the god of fate and creation, the spokesperson of the mortal realm, his preacher, and the embodiment of his will. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm as his voice reverberated throughout the starry sky. The reason why Jun Xiaoyao didn't directly say that he was the god of fate and creation was because he didn't want to be called the god of fate and creation. This was because gods had to be high and mighty, mysterious, and unfathomable. Only then could they inspire reverence in people's hearts. If God lifted the veil, the deterrence would be much less. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao would not directly say that he was the god of fate and creation. Instead, he made himself the spokesperson of God. In this way, Jun Xiaoyao's authoritative position was not shaken. God was still the high and mighty God. Fei Qingxue greets the oracle. Fei Qingxue knelt down. She finally understood why this white-clothed man would save her. It turned out that he was the oracle of the god of fate and creation. He sensed her suffering and came to her rescue. This strengthened Fei Qingxue's faith in him. You don't have to be nervous. Just call me sir. As long as you are a devout believer of the god of fate and creation, God will favor his believers. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly, his expression calm. Of course, Qingxue is an eternal believer of the god of fate and creation. I am willing to sacrifice everything for him. Fei Qingxue said with a devout expression. Very good. I also know that the situation of the Ice Spirit royal family is indeed not very good. But it doesn't matter. God will protect you. Next, you can teach the Taoist heart demonic seed art that God bestowed upon you to the others in the clan to cultivate. Then, your entire clan will quietly become stronger. After that, wait for my orders and arrangements to pass the Taoist heart demonic seed art to the other royal and general clans, Jun Xiaoyao said. He finally revealed his purpose for coming here. Jun Xiaoyao was now laying out a step-by-step plan. The weakest slave clan had to obey you as a pawn. As for the royal family, Jun Xiaoyao would not be able to infiltrate those prosperous royal families in a short time. The declining Ice Spirit royal family happened to be the best pawn. They were also the ones who desired to become stronger the most. As long as there was a desire, there would be a desire to take advantage of it. After Jun Xiaoyao controlled the Ice Spirit royal family, he would infiltrate the other royal families step by step. Of course, this was not something that could be done in a short time. Even infiltrating the Ice Spirit royal family needed to be done step by step. After all, there are also powerhouses like Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit in the Ice Spirit royal family. Jun Xiaoyao figured that even if it was just a declining Ice Spirit royal family, the power of faith provided by it would still be more than hundreds of slave clans. Of course, the slave clans could quickly spread their faith. In terms of speed and scale, they were far superior to the royal families. Qingxue will follow your orders. Fei Qingxue bowed and said. In the next moment, the world changed, and they returned to the original pavilion. Fei Qingxue was nervous and shy before. In fact, there were even some muddle-headed fantasies. But now, she had absolute respect and admiration for Jun Xiaoyao. After all, this was the oracle of the god of fate and creation, the spokesperson of the human world. All right, let's wait for the celestial immortal banquet to begin. Also, tell your clan's elders not to worry. I will not ignore the troubles of the Cinder-classed royal family and the Black Peacock royal family, Jun Xiaoyao said. Thank you, sir. Fei Qingxue's pretty face was flushed, revealing a trace of excitement. What she was most worried about was whether the two royal families would take revenge on the Ice Spirit royal family. Now it seemed that with Jun Xiaoyao around, what was there to be afraid of? In the small courtyard, a few Ice Spirit royal family elders were a little anxious. After all, this matter was caused by Fei Qingxue. The Ice Spirit royal family could not escape the responsibility. Elders, don't worry. Fei Qingxue walked over. Miss Qingxue, that young master's identity is There was a glimmer of hope in an elder's eyes. They did not hope that Jun Xiaoyao was the successor of the immortal Emperor clan. As long as he was from the quasi-emperor clan, this crisis could be resolved. Fei Qingxue shook her head faintly and said, "Elders, don't worry about this kind of thing. Everything will be clear during the celestial immortal banquet." Hearing Fei Qingxue's words, the elders' worried faces did not diminish. They could only hope that a miracle would happen. Fei Qingxue saw the elders' worried faces and secretly felt a little amused. You don't even know what kind of background Mr. has. You don't even know what kind of supreme existence is standing behind him. Chapter 918. After a few days, everyone in the ancient city could feel it. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth was rolling and boiling like an ocean. The heavenly immortal banquet is about to begin. The geniuses of the general and royal clans were excited and eager to try. I heard that there are 5 heavenly immortal fruits on the heavenly immortal tree this time. I wonder who will be lucky enough to taste them. Don't even think about it. You might not even be able to drink a cup of immortal tea made from immortal spiritual leaves, let alone the heavenly immortal fruits. Even a whiff of the tea's fragrance is enough to elevate one's cultivation, let alone drinking it. A lot of discussions came from all around the ancient city. By the way, I wonder if the mysterious young master who killed Prince Yin and Kong Xiang a few days ago will attend the banquet. I think so. There will be a good show to watch. While the entire ancient city was in an uproar, in the courtyard of the icy spirit royal family, the heavenly immortal banquet is about to begin. Fei Qingxue said respectfully. Jun Xiaoyao walked out calmly, looking into the distance with a calm expression. A giant peak that almost reached the clouds was faintly discernible in the clouds. He could sense a dense flow of energy, accompanied by the radiance of the immortal Tao. The foreign realm was vast and filled with resources. It was even bigger than the 9 heavens immortal realm. There were all kinds of heaven-defying opportunities. The heavenly immortal tree was one of them. "Let's go," Jun Xiaoyao said. He, Chun Chun, and Fei Qingxue set off together. Several elders of the icy spirit royal family followed behind him, frowning. It's the icy spirit royal family. That mysterious young master is going to attend the heavenly immortal banquet too. This is going to be interesting. Many people were paying attention to Jun Xiaoyao's movements. Jun Xiaoyao's appearance at the moment undoubtedly caused an uproar all around. The fallen immortal ridge was a famous treasure land in the heavenly tomb state. As the name suggested, it was said that a drop of immortal blood had fallen here. It nourished a heavenly immortal tree. The entire fallen immortal ridge was shrouded in mist and spiritual light. There were green pines, green cypresses, jade flowers, and ravines. It was a spectacular sight. At the center of the fallen immortal ridge was a strange peak that towered into the clouds like a pillar. The peak was where the heavenly immortal tree grew. This strange peak was very special. It had a special domain. Even a sage would find it difficult to fly through the air, as they would be greatly suppressed. Because of this, the heavenly immortal banquet gradually became the place where the geniuses of the heavenly tomb state competed. Only the strong could reach the peak. Immortal, immortal, immortal fruit. Meanwhile, at this moment, the surrounding mountain ridges were already densely packed with foreign creatures. Among them, the ones with the lowest status were still from the general clan. The slave race didn't have the qualifications to set foot in this place. On top of a certain mountain ridge, a group of royal creatures were having a discussion. They could be said to be the most elite group of geniuses at the heavenly immortal banquet. One of the royal prodigies had 4 pairs of eyes on his face and a pair of moth-like wings on his back. The Moth Demon Royal Clan was ranked in the top 50 of the 100 great royal clans and was considered one of the more prosperous royal clans. Our world suffered a crushing defeat in the divine ruins. Apart from Pu Yao and Tushan Xiao Xiao, all of the younger generation died. It's really shocking. What's even more shocking is that I heard that there was only one immortal realm prodigy who defeated our world. At the side, a young man with 2 golden horns on his forehead clicked his tongue and sighed. He was a young prodigy of the golden sheep race. That person is the son of God of the immortal realm's June family. His name is Jun Xiaoyao. I heard that he was a peerless man. In the end, he sealed the evil intent of a god and died. I really want to see what kind of person he is. A beautiful woman in a silver dress asked with a hint of curiosity in her eyes. She was a prodigy of the silver royal race. The silver royal race was one of the top 10 royal races, just like the black peacock royal race. Silver spirit, you sound like there are no good men in our world. The young prodigy of the golden sheep race shook his head. That's not the case. A while ago, there was a shocking phenomenon. A black hexagram appeared in the sky. Some people said that the dark echelon of the doomsday era had awakened, Silver Spirit said. Her words caused the expressions of the royal prodigies present to turn serious. The dark echelon of the doomsday era was not someone ordinary prodigies could compare to. Even the 10 heavenly kings of the younger generation were only fit to carry the shoes of the dark echelon. I wonder who that dark echelon is. The prodigy of the moth demon royal race was also curious. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded from afar. Maybe we can see the dark echelon when the Ares Academy opens? A man in a black cloak appeared in the distance. His hair was as black as ink, and his eyes were like two black holes. That's the prodigy of the exotic Taoist race. Some royal prodigies were shocked. The exotic Taoist race was the same as the evil dragon race and the fallen demonic phoenix race. They were all boundary emperor races. This race was rumored to have a portion of the bloodline of the Tao Tai, a great ancient beast. It was said that they had the ability to swallow the heavens. As expected, a boundary emperor prodigy has appeared. However, what shocked the royal prodigies were the words of the exotic Taoist prodigy. The Ares Academy is really opening? The prodigy of the golden sheep race exclaimed. It should be. I heard that the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy, the supreme academy in the immortal region, has already opened. They're going to nurture the true elites. Our world naturally has to take countermeasures. The opening of the Ares Academy is imperative, Silver Spirit said. The Ares Academy is the supreme academy of our world. It hasn't opened for several eras. I didn't expect it to open in this great era. I wonder what kind of storm it will cause. Some royal prodigies sighed. The Ares Academy was named after the god of war. Naturally, it was to nurture the invincible god of war prodigies. Its purpose was the same as the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy in the immortal region. It was to focus on nurturing the top figures of the world. They could grow into pillars of the world in the future. The invincible gods of war that walked out of the Ares Academy were all existences that could sweep through their peers. In history, there was once a young god of war from the Ares Academy. In the desolate border, he consecutively killed 10 seedlings from the immortal region. It could be said that his ferocious might overflowed into the heavens. A young supreme being who could be conferred the title of god of war would at least reach the quasi-immortal realm in the future. It wouldn't be difficult for them to reach the true immortal realm. Actually, the reason why the Heavenly Immortal Banquet is opening in the Heavenly Tomb State is also to prepare for the Ares Academy. They want to raise the competitiveness of our Heavenly Tomb State's younger generation. On the other side, a dragon-like roar and snake-like voice sounded. It was a large golden snake. It wasn't big, only about 3 meters long. It had a pair of 3-meter-long wings on its back. It was even larger than the snake's body. It could speak the human language. When it opened its mouth, it released a voice that could penetrate metal and split stone. Boundary Emperor race, snake race. The surrounding royal prodigies stirred again. It seemed like the competition in today's Heavenly Immortal Banquet would definitely be very intense. Because the Ares Academy was about to open, the stronger one was, the more likely they would be taken in and fight for the title of God of War. Just as everyone was discussing the Heavenly Immortal Banquet and the Ares Academy, in the distant sky, a luxurious ship was flying through the air. 2 figures stood on it. The Black Peacock Royal Race's proud daughter has come. The one beside her is Hiss. Could it be someone from the Immortal Emperor race? Chapter 919. The luxurious ship traversed the void, flowing with brilliant lights and vibrant colors, bringing with it a sense of luxury. In the foreign realm, the hierarchy was strict. The weaker races wouldn't dare to be so arrogant and ride on fancy transportation tools. On the deck of the ship, a young man and woman stood there. The woman was dressed in a long black dress, which outlined her graceful figure. Her appearance was also excellent. She had phoenix eyes, red lips, and jade-like facial features. Her black hair was tied up with a peacock stone hairpin. She exuded a high and mighty aura. She was a cold and arrogant beauty. She was the proud daughter of the black peacock royal race, Kong Chantian. Beside her stood a man. His face was very young, and there was a divine pattern between his brows. His aura was extraordinary. Standing beside Kong Chantian, he did not seem inferior at all. Everyone looked over. At first, they were surprised, but then they heaved a sigh of relief. I was scared to death. I thought it was Kong Chantian's husband. If he came, what could we do? That's right. It's Li Jioi of the infernal race. His combat strength is ranked in the top 3 of the 10 heavenly kings. He's a true emperor race elite and one of the leading figures. The man beside Kong Chantian seems to be Li Jioi's servant. He should be here with her to boost her momentum. Kong Chantian's arrival undoubtedly set off a wave. Even the prodigies of the exotic Taoist race and the snake race did not dare to underestimate her. Although they were the prodigies of the quasi-emperor races, their status was higher than Kong Chantian's. However, Kong Chantian was Li Jioi's woman. Even if she was just a concubine, her status was not something an ordinary quasi-emperor race could compare to. The immortal emperor races were supreme existences in the foreign realm. Their status was inviolable. Miss Chantian, Master said that he needs to go into seclusion to prepare for the War God Academy. This time, he asked me to accompany you to pick the immortal spirit leaf and heavenly immortal fruit. The servant of Li Jioi was called Wu Kuan. He was thousands of years old. Compared to cultivators, he was considered young. His cultivation was at the quasi-supreme realm. However, at this moment, Kong Chantian's expression was not too good. There was a hint of coldness in her eyes. Seeing this, Wu Kuan said, "Miss Chantian, is it because of your cousin? Don't worry, I will settle this matter." Yes, although that cousin of mine was a good-for-nothing, he was still somewhat related to me by blood. If the white-clothed man who killed him appears today, don't let him leave. Kong Chantian's tone was indifferent. Kong Xiang was only her cousin. They weren't very close, but he was still part of her family. Kong Xiang was killed, so Kong Chantian had to do something. If that white-robed man appeared today, he would be able to take care of him. Even if he didn't appear, she had ways to send experts from her clan to look for him. After all, the prestige of a top royal family was not to be challenged. Just as Kong Chantian was thinking about this, a voice suddenly rang out. All of a sudden, cries of surprise rang out from all around. That white-clothed young master actually came. He's really bold. He knew that Kong Chantian would come during the heavenly immortal banquet. This time, there are even people from emperor clans accompanying him. This young master might be in a bit of a predicament. Amidst the hubbub, a white-robed young master with a mysterious temperament walked leisurely through the air. His footsteps were light, slow, and leisurely. He didn't emit any shocking aura, but he gave off an unfathomable feeling. Is the heavenly immortal tree up there? The person who appeared was naturally Jun Xiaoyao. He raised his head slightly and could vaguely see an ancient tree shrouded in a hazy immortal mist at the peak of the mountain. Wow, there's going to be heavenly immortal fruits to eat. Chun Chun drooled. Clearly, this little foodie could no longer hold herself back. Fei Qingshua's expression was firm. There was no sign of panic. It was as if in her heart, Jun Xiaoyao's words were unquestionable. If Jun Xiaoyao said there was no need to worry, then there was definitely no need to worry. On the other hand, the few icy spirit royal elders who came with them all looked anxious, especially when they saw Kong Chantian and Wu Kuan from the Emperor clan. Their faces were even paler, and their eyes were trembling. The people from the Infernal Emperor clan, the icy spirit royal elder, was in despair. If the Emperor clan hadn't appeared, there might still be a chance to turn things around. Now, it seemed that Kong Chantian was going to settle the score with them. The moment Jun Xiaoyao appeared, Kong Qianqian cast her gaze over her. She was also stunned for a moment. It had to be said that Jun Xiaoyao's temperament was too extraordinary. It was as if he was a true immortal walking in the mortal world. Although he didn't reveal a trace of his aura, he gave people the feeling that he was even more noble than the Emperor clan. Kong Qianqian and Wu Kuan, who originally had extraordinary temperaments, were in front of Jun Xiaoyao. They were simply like chickens in an instant. "You're the one who killed my cousin?" Kong Qianqian questioned. Only then did Jun Xiaoyao slowly retract his gaze, and then it landed on Kong Qianqian. Divine Lord cultivation. For her age, she was considered to be extremely talented and powerful. It was no wonder that some people said that Kong Qianqian's strength was close to that of the 10 heavenly kings. However, even Pu Yao, one of the 10 heavenly kings, was no match for Jun Xiaoyao. Kong Qianqian was nothing. Moreover, at that time, it was in the world of the divine ruins. Jun Xiaoyao's strength was worlds apart from now. If Jun Xiaoyao wanted to kill Pu Yao now, it wouldn't take much effort. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao had no intention of answering, Wu Kuan stood up. He said coldly, "Didn't you hear Miss Qianqian's question? You dare to do it, but don't dare to admit it?" As soon as Wu Kuan finished speaking, he immediately fell a gaze on him. In an instant, Wu Kuan felt as if a mountain was pressing down on his body. That pressure was even stronger than the pressure of his master, Li Jioi. Thud, thud, thud. Wu Kuan took a few steps back, cold sweat appearing on his back. "Wu Kuan, what's wrong?" Kong Qianqian turned her head. Wu Kuan was a quasi-supreme powerhouse. He had been by Li Jiui's side all year round, and his strength was also extremely impressive. "No, nothing." Wu Kuan exhaled deeply. He was a little puzzled and felt that Jun Xiaoyao was a little strange. However, when he thought of his identity as an Emperor clan member, Wu Kuan's confidence rose. His master was one of the 10 heavenly kings, Li Jiui. Standing behind him was the immortal infernal race. In the entire foreign territory, there were not many people who could make him feel apprehensive, just as the atmosphere was a little tense. Several old antiques who were hosting the Heavenly Immortal Banquet appeared. "Geniuses, the Heavenly Immortal Banquet is about to start. If there's anything, let's settle it later." These old antiques stood in the void, and their strength was extraordinary. "Humph, if he dares to climb the mountain, we'll take care of him." Kong Qianqian snorted coldly. This time, with Wu Kuan around, she was destined to get the heavenly immortal fruit. "All right, everyone, let the heavenly immortal banquet begin," an old antique said. In an instant, countless ear-piercing sounds of wind breaking rang out between heaven and earth. All the prodigies of the foreign territory rushed towards that towering strange peak almost at the same time. The prodigies of the Moth Demon Royal race and the Golden Sheep race. The prodigy of the Silver Royal race, Yinling. There were also the Quasi-Emperor race, the Exotic Taoist race, and the Snake race. They all rushed up at the same time. Kong Qianqian glanced coldly at Jun Xiaoyao and also climbed the mountain with Wu Kuan. The moment all the prodigies climbed the mountain, a huge pressure pressed down on them. As a result, everyone could only climb step by step. This was also a kind of test. Some of the creatures who didn't participate in the Heavenly Immortal Banquet looked at Jun Xiaoyao, because he didn't rush over like the others. "Sir, Chun rubbed her little hands. She was craving the Heavenly Immortal Fruit. "This Heavenly Immortal Banquet is a little boring." Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He thought he would encounter some interesting opponents. In the end, none of the 10 heavenly kings showed up. The only quasi-supreme, Wu Kuan, also made him lose interest. "Then let's just go and pick it." Jun Xiaoyao sighed and took both Chun and Fei Qingxue with him, stepping into the air and leaving. Just as Jun Xiaoyao entered the strange peak area, everyone's eyes were focused on him. The next moment, all the creatures of the foreign territory were dumbfounded. Jun Xiaoyao stepped into the void and walked toward the peak step by step. What about the others? They were crawling like turtles. Chapter 9:20. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would have thought that they were dreaming. This fallen immortal ridge, especially the strange peak area where the celestial tree was located, there was an extremely strong domain suppression. Even quasi-supremes could only walk. But now they saw something. Jun Xiaoyao was walking in the air, and he was carrying two burdens. That was ridiculous. I want to report him. He's cheating. A foreign prodigy shouted, feeling extremely unbalanced. What's going on? The old antique host of the Heavenly Immortal Banquet was also surprised. There shouldn't be many people in the younger generation who could resist the suppression of this domain. They tried to get closer, but they also felt an extremely strong suppression. At the same time, several divine senses scanned Jun Xiaoyao. This junior is quite something. It's actually difficult to detect his aura, an old antique said in surprise. But other than that, they didn't find anything unusual. The only explanation was this white-robed young man might be stronger than everyone imagined. There's nothing unusual. Let's continue as usual, an old antique said. After saying that, some of the controversy subsided. These old antiques were at least supremes and above, so there shouldn't be any mistakes. How is that possible? Kong Qianqian also couldn't believe it. Because she was quite strong and had Wu Kuan with her, her speed was in the first echelon. But compared to Jun Xiaoyao, the difference was like heaven and earth. This made everyone's mentality collapse. No one could accept it. How can this be? Then what's the point of us coming here to participate in the Heavenly Immortal Banquet? The Golden Sheep Race's prodigy shouted. With his speed, whether it's the Immortal Spirit Leaf or the Heavenly Immortal Fruit, they will probably fall into his hands, Silver Spirit said. Haha, he also needs to be alive to enjoy it. Could it be that he dares to offend all of the royal, quasi-emperor, and monarch clans? The exotic Taoist race's prodigy sneered. There were so many prodigies present. How could the white-robed man take all the benefits alone? The exotic Taoist race's prodigy thought that the white-robed man shouldn't have the guts to take all the opportunities alone. This would undoubtedly offend all the prodigies present. The other prodigies also thought so. However, very soon, Jun Xiaoyao took Chun Chun and Fei Qingxue to the top of the mountain. At the top of the mountain, an ancient tree towered into the sky. The leaves were not very dense, but rather sparse. However, those leaves are all very strange. On the leaf, there were vague depictions of the sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, lakes, and seas. It was as if the scenery of the world was depicted on the leaf. There was a natural Taoist rhyme lingering around and merging with the Tao. At the same time, the entire celestial immortal tree's body was covered in many blood-like veins. It must be the influence of that drop of immortal's blood. Is this the celestial immortal tree? Fei Qingxue was shocked. Originally, with her strength, it was impossible for her to reach this place. Now, just looking at it made him feel very satisfied. After all, just sitting cross-legged and cultivating under the celestial immortal tree was able to obtain enormous benefits. It's a pretty good treasure. Jun Xiaoyao was also slightly impressed. With Jun Xiaoyao's picky eyes, it was not easy to get some praise from him. Jun Xiaoyao could see that this celestial immortal tree had been nourished by a drop of immortal's blood for countless years. It had already emitted a kind of aura that was close to the Tao, not inferior to the Enlightenment ancient tree. Jun Xiaoyao could even feel that this celestial immortal tree already had some vague self-consciousness. This was rare. In Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe, the world tree had this kind of self-consciousness. That was why it resisted and didn't want the evil god to get it. This celestial immortal tree was not comparable to the world tree. However, it was enough to be called a natural wonder at the level of the spring of life. However, what caught Jun Xiaoyao's attention the most were the celestial immortal fruits. The 5 celestial immortal fruits were placed on the celestial immortal tree like 5 small suns, releasing bright divine light. The multicolored light lingered, thousands of auspicious colors. To Jun Xiaoyao's surprise, the celestial immortal fruit looked like a little person sitting cross-legged. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but think of the legendary ginseng fruit. Jun Xiaoyao figured that the reason why the celestial immortal tree could bear the human-shaped celestial immortal fruit was probably related to that drop of immortal's blood. The human-shaped celestial immortal fruit was some kind of extension of the image of the owner of the immortal's blood. The 5 celestial immortal fruits were all supreme treasures. At the same time, they emitted a fragrance that made one's soul float, tempting one to drool. On the side, Chuinchuin's eyes were starry, and her saliva fell like a waterfall. She couldn't stop at all. Sir. Chun was a little impatient. On the other side, Fei Qingxue also secretly swallowed a mouthful of saliva. No one could resist this fragrance. However, Fei Qingxue lowered her head slightly. She knew that she was not qualified. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward. Suddenly, the celestial immortal tree trembled, and various Tao laws intertwined, turning into a light blade that slashed at Jun Xiaoyao. Obviously, without a certain level of strength, one was not even qualified to pick it. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled and flicked his sleeve. The aura of chaos emerged and obliterated all the Tao law light blades. It was this move that made the faces of the few old antiques in the sky suddenly freeze. That aura is a bit like some of the old antiques were surprised and had some guesses in their hearts. Because Jun Xiaoyao had only used one move, they couldn't really feel it. Jun Xiaoyao waved his sleeve, and all the immortal spirit leaves and 5 celestial immortal fruits on the celestial immortal tree were plucked. The entire celestial immortal tree instantly became a little bear. Little Munchkin, Qingxue, make some tea, Jun Xiaoyao said. Coincidentally, there was a stone table and a few stone stools under the celestial immortal tree. Yay! Chun cheered. She hurriedly reached for the 100 treasures pouch at her waist and took out the tea set, the 10,000-year-old ice spring water, and other items. She had planned to come to the celestial banquet, so she had prepared all the items. Sir, looking at the bare celestial immortal tree, Fei Qingxue was speechless. It turned out that Jun Xiaoyao wanted to take all the opportunities for himself, and he wasn't afraid of angering the crowd. Not only did he want to take them for himself, but he didn't want to leave and instead made tea here. Wasn't he a little too arrogant and condescending? If the other geniuses who ascended saw this, wouldn't they be so angry that they would die? Don't worry. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Ascending to the peak alone, tasting immortal tea and immortal fruits was also a great enjoyment. This young man is really in the sky. The few old antiques couldn't bear to watch anymore. Wasn't he looking down on the younger generation of the heavenly tomb state? Wasn't he too arrogant? These old antiques didn't know Jun Xiaoyao's true identity. If they knew that Jun Xiaoyao was from the immortal realm, they definitely wouldn't be so calm. Now, the opportunity that originally belonged to the younger generation of the heavenly tomb state, it was monopolized by Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao sat leisurely on the stone stools, while Chun and Fei Qingxue were making tea. At this time, Kong Qianqian, Wu Kun, Ming Shi, the exotic Taoist tribe, and other creatures finally arrived and climbed up with difficulty. When their eyes fell on the bare, celestial immortal tree, they all had the urge to vomit blood. Good heavens! How cruel! He didn't even leave a single leaf for them. Chapter 9:21. At this moment, all the prodigies who had reached the top of the mountain had a mental breakdown. They had finally climbed up the mountain with great difficulty. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao didn't leave a single leaf for them. Friend, don't you think you've gone too far? The prodigy of the moth demon royal tribe said. He had 4 eyes and a pair of moth wings on his back. At this moment, he was in a bad mood. That's right. As the saying goes, leave some leeway for others in the future. Brother, you've gone too far. The prodigy of the golden sheep tribe also expressed his dissatisfaction. This heavenly immortal banquet was originally a grand event for the younger generation of the heavenly tomb state. Why was Jun Xiaoyao monopolizing all the benefits now? Then what was the point of the others coming to this banquet? Were they just going to watch? Brother, you can't be like this. Silver Spirit of the Silver Royal Tribe said. She was also a woman whose beauty was known far and wide. Her strength was on par with her beauty, and it was unknown how many men had fallen under her skirt. However, what made Silver Spear a little stunned was that Jun Xiaoyao didn't even look at her. This made Silver Spirit a little dissatisfied. She was the prodigy of a top-tier royal tribe. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao had really become the target of public criticism now. Why are you talking so much? Just snatch it. Some royal prodigies were envious, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. Although most of the heavenly immortal banquet stopped at a certain point. If they really killed someone, there wouldn't be any consequences. Of course, that was under the circumstance that their background was similar or stronger than the opponent's. In the eyes of these people, Jun Xiaoyao's background was a mystery. However, they didn't think that Jun Xiaoyao had any powerful background. After all, if he really had a powerful background, such as from a quasi-emperor tribe or even an immortal emperor tribe, it was impossible that they didn't know anything. Therefore, these royal prodigies were very bold. Swoosh! Some of the geniuses of the royal families charged forward like sharp swords, casting spells and heading straight for Jun Xiaoyao. One had to admit that these royal prodigies were very strong. At the same level, it was almost impossible for the immortal domain prodigies to resist. Sadly, although Jun Xiaoyao was a heaven-chosen of the immortal realms, his demon-level talent was indescribable. Therefore, in the face of these royal prodigies who were charging at him, Yi Zichen didn't care about them at all. Jun Xiaoyao was also very simple. The light of chaos swirled in his eyes. Chaos Eye. Bang, bang, bang. Those sky prides who rashly rushed towards Jun Xiaoyao. One by one, their heads exploded and their bodies cracked like bloody fireworks. Everyone was horrified. Dead silence. Even though some of the otherworldly creatures had witnessed Jun Xiaoyao's move in the ancient city, they were still shocked. But looking at it now, it was still shocking. The pupils of the old antiques in the sky abruptly shrank. They had also faintly sensed the faint fluctuation, and the guess in their hearts became increasingly clear. If it was really as they thought. If that was the case, then this mysterious young man's physique was too terrifying. His background was definitely not ordinary. The prodigies of the Moth Demon Royal Tribe, the Golden Sheep Tribe, Ling, and the others were all stunned. After all, this move was too strange and powerful, and it was terrifying. Even the prodigies of the exotic Taoist tribe and the Snake Tribe had a serious look in their eyes. Wu Kuan, this person is a little strange. Kong Qianqian also frowned. At first, she only wanted to kill the person who had killed her cousin casually, and that was it. But now, it seemed that it was not so easy. This person is indeed a little strange. I can't detect his aura, but it's okay. He can't overturn the sky. Although a trace of surprise flashed in Wu Kuan's eyes, as a member of the Emperor race, he naturally couldn't show weakness. Not to mention that his cultivation was at the quasi-supreme stage, and he had the bloodline of the infernal Emperor race. His strength was stronger than ordinary quasi-supremes. That was why he had such confidence and confidence. However, after Jun Xiaoyao used this move, the other prodigies present didn't dare to act rashly. Seeing this scene, the old antiques in the sky sighed. I didn't expect to see such a scene at the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. Yeah, which Heavenly Immortal Banquet in the past wasn't a fierce battle. Unlike this time, all the prodigies were suppressed by one person. One person suppressed the entire younger generation of the Heavenly Tomb State. TSK. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, the old antiques wouldn't have dared to believe it. After all, the people of the foreign domain were valiant and had a strong martial aura. In such an environment, it was extremely difficult to suppress the prodigies of the entire state. Of course, the Heavenly Tomb State wasn't the most prosperous state among the 10 states of the foreign domain. But to be able to do this was enough to be amazing. At that moment, Chuanchuan's clear voice sounded. Sir, the tea is ready. Jun Xiaoyao glanced over and saw that Chun and Fei Qingxue had already used a portion of the immortal spirit leaf to make 9 cups of tea. Multicolored light shone, and immortal qi was abundant. It was no longer just tea. There seemed to be Taoist rhymes flowing in the tea, reflecting all kinds of gorgeous scenes in the world. It could really be called immortal tea, although this tea was brewed by Chun and Fei Qingxue. But Jun Xiaoyao didn't drink it, and they didn't dare to drink it first. Jun Xiaoyao directly picked up a cup of tea and drank it in one gulp. It was as if he drank the world in one gulp. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao instantly felt that the great Tao patterns between heaven and earth had become clear in front of his eyes. It was as if he could reach out and grab it. At the same time, rich Taoist rhymes were emitted. Jun Xiaoyao felt like he was going to comprehend the Tao on the spot. Good tea. Jun Xiaoyao continued to pick up the second cup. He had a hobby of drinking tea, and this immortal tea was even more to his taste. After drinking the second cup, Jun Xiaoyao's entire body was enveloped in dazzling light. Then came a third cup. All kinds of true dragon, divine phoenix, and qilin patterns appeared around Jun Xiaoyao's body. The fourth cup, auspicious signs descended from the heavens, and the great Tao resonated. In the end, 7 cups of immortal tea were drunk. Jun Xiaoyao felt as if he was about to ascend. His chaotic physique became even more perfect and flawless, and it was unprecedentedly comfortable with his primordial spirit. It could be said that the 7 cups of tea had washed away all the subtle flaws in Jun Xiaoyao's body and made Jun Xiaoyao's body emit an immortal radiance. When they saw this scene, all of the foreign creatures here were stunned. 7 cups of immortal tea. Ascension. Although it wasn't a true ascension, in the eyes of everyone, it was already an extreme transformation and a great opportunity. Damn it, many geniuses were envious. They could only smell the fragrance of the immortal tea, but Jun Xiaoyao drank 7 cups in a row. They died from drought, and they died from drowning. However, what made them feel even more unbalanced was Jun Xiaoyao gave the remaining 2 cups of tea to Chunshun and Fei Qingxue. Chunshun didn't mind it. She cheered and swallowed it in one gulp. With her cultivation strength, drinking a cup of immortal tea was enough. Moreover, there were still some immortal spirit leaves left, so she could soak them in the future. As for Fei Qingxue, she was pleasantly surprised and a little flattered. She didn't expect to be able to get a cup of immortal tea. Thank you, sir. Fei Qingxue bowed to Jun Xiaoyao. Then, she carefully picked up the teacup and sipped the tea, comprehending the opportunity in Taoist rhymes. Originally, with her cultivation strength, it was absolutely impossible for her to drink immortal tea. Seeing this scene, the quasi-emperors and royal elites had a mental breakdown. How could a little attendant drink immortal tea? And Fei Qingxue, a princess of a declining royal family, could also enjoy such treatment. A hint of jealousy appeared on Yinling's pretty face. She knew that her appearance, strength, and status were all better than Fei Qingxue's. Why could Fei Qingxue drink immortal tea, but she could only watch from the side? This made her heart sour, and she turned into a lemon. Sir, may I have the honor of tasting a cup of immortal tea? Yinling took a step forward and ran her jade-like hands through her smooth and soft hair. She was wearing a long silver dress that wrapped around her graceful body. As the princess of the Silver Royal family, one of the top royal families, Yinling was very confident in her own charm. Since even Fei Qingxue could taste immortal tea, she should be able to as well. Who do you think you are? Jun Xiaoyao didn't even look at her. Yinling's beautiful face froze, and she instantly became extremely embarrassed. Chapter 922. Yinling's mind was a little numb. She was used to everyone's flattery and praise. This was the first time she had been humiliated like this. She was extremely ashamed and angry, and her beautiful eyes were burning with anger. Everyone, are you willing to accept this? Yinling looked at the prodigies of the royal moth demon race and the golden sheep race. Of course not. He still has some immortal spirit leaves. We can join forces and snatch them, Yinling said. Jun Xiaoyao's eeriness had indeed stunned a bunch of people. However, if they join forces, they might succeed. Are we going to join forces? That's a little. The royal moth demon prodigy was stunned. Each of them had a good reputation and were prodigies who dominated a region. Now, they actually had to join forces to deal with one person. That was beneath their dignity. This person is indeed strange. If we don't join forces, it's indeed difficult to deal with him, the golden sheep race prodigy said, just as they were communicating with their divine wills. Jun Xiaoyao had already taken out a heavenly immortal fruit. After drinking the immortal tea, it was naturally time to taste the immortal fruit. Seeing this scene, the prodigies present could no longer bear it. The feeling of watching someone else obtain a great opportunity was too uncomfortable. Moreover, although the immortal tea was precious, it was still inferior to the heavenly immortal fruit. Rumor had it that a heavenly immortal fruit could allow one to advance by a realm and had various benefits. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao was about to eat the heavenly immortal fruit, no one could remain calm. They were afraid that Jun Xiaoyao would directly finish all 5 heavenly immortal fruits like he was drinking the immortal tea. One had to know that the heavenly immortal fruit only bore fruit once every 1,000 years. It was too precious. If Jun Xiaoyao finished eating it, they would have to wait another 1,000 years. Who could stand that? Stop! A cold voice suddenly sounded. It was from Wu Kuan. I'm here on Master's orders. In addition to helping Miss Qianqian obtain a heavenly immortal fruit, Master also needs a heavenly immortal fruit. So if you know what's good for you, hand over 3 heavenly immortal fruits, Wu Kuan said. The reason why there was an extra one was naturally because he wanted one too. Jun Xiaoyao's hand gesture paused. It wasn't because he was afraid of Wu Kuan. Instead, he felt that it was a little noisy. Although it's a fly, it's always noisy and annoying. As Jun Xiaoyao spoke, he waved his hand. The 5 heavenly immortal fruits were placed on the stone table. Come at me together. The heavenly immortal fruit is right here. If you can get it, that's your ability, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. The reason he roamed the other side was also because he wanted to meet the foreign experts. He was used to being invincible in the 9 heavens, immortal realm. In the other side, he naturally had to sweep through everything. He's too arrogant. Upon hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, the faces of all the royal prodigies present darkened. One person challenging all of them. This was simply looking down on all of them. Attack together. Kill. The group of sky prides surrounded Jun Xiaoyao. Among them, the moth demon royal prodigy's moth wings trembled behind his back as numerous runes appeared. They turned into balls of blazing fire and fell towards Jun Xiaoyao. This was the Moth Devil Royal Race's ability, Moth Devil Heavenly Fire. Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyelids indifferently. It was just a flick of his finger. A wisp of energy burst out and pierced through the void. The Moth Demon Royal Prodigy's head was pierced through by this wisp of energy and then exploded, instantly dying. At this moment, the surrounding geniuses of the royal families turned pale with fright. The Moth Demon Royal Prodigy was extremely powerful. However, he was still killed by Jun Xiaoyao with a flick of his finger. His strength made people's hearts turn cold. Don't be afraid. Attack together. The Golden Sheep Race's prodigy shouted loudly. He muttered something in his mouth, and the 2 golden horns on his forehead fell off. They were like 2 golden heavenly swords, swallowing and emitting a sharp aura that could cut the sky and the earth. This was the Golden Sheep Race's peerless ability, a great killing weapon. It was not only a part of their body, but also a weapon that they had been refining since they were young. Its power was peerless. The 2 golden heavenly swords slashed down at Jun Xiaoyao's head, and it was as if they could cut a mountain in half. However, just as the heavenly sword were about to reach Jun Xiaoyao, an inexplicable force appeared and destroyed the peerless sword aura. Only the 2 swords were left, and they slashed down powerlessly. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and caught the 2 heavenly swords with 2 fingers. This is impossible. The Golden Sheep Race's prodigy shouted in disbelief. What kind of divine power was this? How can this be? Wu Kuan was slightly shocked. This ability made him think of a race. It wasn't just him. The old antiques in the sky dome above, as well as a few foreign experts whose horizons were rather deep, all thought of a certain clan. A cracking sound was heard. Jun Xiaoyao used a bit of force with 2 fingers and crushed the 2 heavenly swords formed by the golden horns. Spurt! The Golden Sheep Race's prodigy spat out a mouthful of blood. His forehead cracked, and his primordial spirit was about to shatter. These 2 heavenly swords were his natal weapons. It could be said that most of the Golden Sheep Race's divine power was in these 2 heavenly swords. now that Jun Xiaoyao had easily crushed these two heavenly swords. The Golden Sheep race's prodigy was immediately severely injured, and his combat power was almost completely destroyed. Everyone, let's attack together. Do you think he could defeat all of us? Yinling also spoke. With the princess of the top royal race taking the lead, the other royal race's prodigies also attacked at the same time. In an instant, all kinds of powerful divine powers and top-tier forbidden arts were cast. They were all well-known great methods of the other side, their power extremely great. The place instantly boiled, as if countless stars had exploded and destructive waves surged toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was still calm. All the divine power waves turned into nothingness in front of Jun Xiaoyao. How can all the royal race's prodigies open their mouths and eyes wide? This is impossible. Yinling also lost her composure and couldn't maintain her ladylike demeanor. At this moment, a solemn voice sounded. What's your relationship with the Magia race? The one who spoke was the prodigy of the quasi-emperor race, the exotic Taoist race. Hearing this, many of the royal race's prodigies revealed looks of shock. The Magia race is rumored to be a peerless imperial race. They are invulnerable to all dermic powers and have dermic powers immunity. Some of the overlord race's prodigies exclaimed. The Magia race was one of the overlord races of the overlord race. There weren't many of them, but every one of them was extremely powerful. Whether it was the sleeping younger generation or the older generation, they were all invincible among their peers. Moreover, the most distinctive characteristic of this imperial race was that they were born with dermic powers immunity. The effects of dermic powers differed according to one's strength. However, the only thing that was certain was that the ability to be invulnerable to all dermic powers and dermic powers immunity was unique to this race's bloodline. It was almost impossible for other living beings to have it. That's right, what that person used just now did seem to be the effect of dermic powers immunity. No wonder he's so powerful. I didn't expect him to really be a descendant of an immortal emperor race. The Magia race is extremely rare and mysterious. I didn't expect a descendant to appear in the world now. In an instant, all kinds of noisy discussions sounded. Many of the royal race's prodigies came to a realization. If he was a descendant of an immortal emperor race, then everything made sense. It was not impossible for him to defeat them. However, in the sky, a few old antiques were puzzled. Although it seems to be an ability of the Magia race, is this child really from that race? I've never heard of any activity from that race. It wasn't just these old antiques who were doubtful. Wu Kuan also stood out and said, the descendants of the imperial race are high and mighty. They don't easily travel the world. How could they be like you? Moreover, my master also knows that among the Magia race's prodigies, there doesn't seem to be someone like you. Could it be that you stole that ability from somewhere? Or is it similar? If you don't explain it clearly today, I'm afraid that the Magia race will find trouble with you in the future. They won't allow this ability to be leaked to outsiders. Wu Kuan's eyes were sharp, as if he wanted to see through Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao laughed when he heard that. His dermic powers immunity ability was obtained through signing in. What did it have to do with the Magia race? So what if they're from the Magia race? Are they qualified to be compared to my bloodline? Jun Xiaoyao said coldly, his tone full of contempt. Chapter 923. So what if he was from a foreign immortal emperor clan? So what if he was from the ancient Magia clan? No matter how ancient or powerful his bloodline was, compared to the Jun family that had existed for countless eras, how could they compare? In terms of history, origin, and foundation, they had a long history. The Jun family of the immortal domain was not weaker than any of the foreign immortal emperor clans. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, countless foreign creatures widened their eyes, their expressions petrified, looking down on an immortal emperor clan in public. This courage was greater than the heavens. You? How dare you? Wu Kuan shouted, but his eyes revealed a trace of joy. This time, they were completely sure that Jun Xiaoyao was not from the Magia clan. If he did not have a background, then it would be easy to deal with him. Haha, what an arrogant person. Since he's not from the Magia clan, then it doesn't matter if I kill him, right? The exotic Taoist race's prodigy sneered and directly attacked. The aura of a Saint Lord was released. Seeing the quasi-emperor prodigy attack, the king race prodigies present were all refreshed. They did not believe that even a Saint Lord level quasi-emperor prodigy could not defeat Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao revealed a cold smile. He was indeed not from the Magia clan. However, his background was even more terrifying than the Magia clan. However, this was the foreign domain, so he could not reveal his true background and origin. Otherwise, if it was the immortal domain, Jun Xiaoyao did not need to do anything. Just standing there was enough to make countless people bow their heads and submit. Seeing the exotic Taoist race's prodigy charge over, Jun Xiaoyao simply threw out a punch. The void trembled like a piece of paper and then shattered. Pucci! The arm of the exotic Taoist race's prodigy directly exploded, blood and bones flying everywhere. Half of his body was shattered, and his primordial spirit shook violently, almost splitting apart. He sucked in a breath of air, incomparably shocked. His pair of black hole-like eyes reflected the light of horror. It was simple without any fancy tricks, and there was not even any magic power support. Just a punch with the physical body alone was enough to seriously injure him. What kind of method was this? Not only him, but all the surrounding foreign prodigies also felt their scalps go numb. Which corner did this monster come out of? Wow, I didn't expect Sir to be so strong. Chun Chun covered her mouth in astonishment. Although she knew that Jun Xiaoyao was very strong, she did not expect him to be this strong. Of course, ordinary person. Fei Qingxue felt that it was only natural. After all, he was the god of fate and creation. How could a spokesperson in the human world be mediocre? Let me take you on. On the other side, a swift shadow swept toward Jun Xiaoyao. He was a prodigy of the Snake Clan. His entire body was golden, as if he was made of Tao Tribulation gold. There was a pair of flesh wings on his ribs. Although this tribe was called the Snake Tribe, their strength was not much weaker than the Evil Dragon Tribe. The snake hissed and roared. His voice could split heaven and earth and shatter one's soul. On the other hand, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm as the light of chaos surged in his eyes. Along with the power of the three lives essence soul, a wave of divine soul energy pierced through the void like a sharp sword and pierced toward the Snake Clan prodigy. Pucci! The sounding snake let out a sharp hiss. Its forehead was cracked and bleeding. The sounding snake let out a long hiss as golden light surged on the surface of its body. It instantly became as big as a mountain. This was the true size of the sounding snake. It was like a golden true dragon. The aura it exuded made many of the surrounding royal prodigies feel suffocated. Their hearts felt as if they were being crushed by a mountain. This is the power of a quasi-emperor prodigy, a royal prodigy exclaimed. On the other side, the exotic Taoist prodigy opened his mouth and roared. A black hole appeared, and the essence of heaven and earth surged into it. His injuries also began to recover quickly. This tribe had some of the immemorial Taoia's bloodline and could devour all things. Again, the exotic Taoist prodigy roared as a terrifying black hole appeared in front of him. It was as if it could devour and refine all things. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He had used the devouring power too much. Not only did he cultivate the devouring demonic technique, but he had also condensed the devouring immortal qi. Jun Xiaoyao reached out his hand, and a rune light surged in his hand. With a simple palm strike, he dissolved the black hole. Then he hit the exotic Taoist prodigy with his palm. Bang! This time, the exotic Taoist prodigy did not even have the chance to recover. His physical body exploded like a balloon, and his primordial spirit cracked and shattered together with it. A quasi-emperor prodigy had fallen. And Jun Xiaoyao turned to look at the sounding snake and used his finger as a sword to slash down. Sounding snake moves the 9 heavens. The sounding snake roared, and its snake body moved. With a swing of its tail, it cracked the void and caused the space to collapse. Jun Xiaoyao's physical body was not affected at all. He used his sword finger. The sound of sharp blade piercing into flesh was heard. Blood splattered. The sounding snake's huge tail was directly cut off and blood spurted out like a waterfall. Jun Xiaoyao pointed his finger again. A dazzling golden sword light burst out from his finger as if it contained the sharpness to cut through the sky. One of the 5 great divine arts, the heaven-slashing art. Whoosh! A bloody line appeared on the sounding snake's body, and then it was directly split into 2. Its primordial spirit was shattered, and it couldn't be more dead. Then, Jun Xiaoyao turned his gaze to Yinling again and was about to point his finger. Yinling's face instantly turned as pale as paper. Enough, Wu Kuan. Let's attack together. We can't let this kid do anything anymore. Kong Qianqian couldn't stand it anymore. If they didn't attack now, they would all be killed by Jun Xiaoyao. This person was too terrifying. He even killed the quasi-emperor prodigy without caring about the consequences. Kong Qianqian was really a little scared. If she couldn't get rid of Jun Xiaoyao today, she would always have a knot in her heart. She couldn't sleep and eat well after becoming enemies with such a mysterious and strange person. This kid will definitely die today. Wu Kuan snorted coldly and exuded the aura of a quasi-supreme. He could be said to be the creature with the highest cultivation level here apart from those old antiques. Quasi-supreme. Yinling's beautiful eyes revealed a touch of joy after surviving a disaster. A quasi-supreme should be able to suppress Jun Xiaoyao. However, in the next moment, her vision turned black. It was as if the sky had collapsed. What? Yinling was stunned. She saw the shocked expressions of Kong, Qianqian, Wu Kuan, and the other royal prodigies. She was a little confused. Turning her head, she saw a giant, chaotic handprint that was like a part of the sky, grabbing at her. Bang! The giant, chaotic handprint pressed down and directly slapped Yinling to death. The princess of a top royal family also died. Dead silence. This time, there was complete silence. Not a single sound could be heard, because at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao also exuded the aura of a quasi-supreme. Moreover, there were wisps of chaotic qi that wrapped around his body like a waterfall. In contrast, Jun Xiaoyao was like an awakened king of chaos. The eye of chaos split heaven and earth, and the chaotic qi suppressed the sky. The entire mountain began to tremble, as if it couldn't withstand the full power of Jun Xiaoyao's aura. Now, do you want to compete? Jun Xiaoyao looked at Wu Kuan. Drip! A drop of sweat fell from the tip of Wu Kuan's nose. He found that his legs were trembling unconsciously. Chaos! Chaos! Chaos body? Wu Kuan stuttered, as if his brain had short-circuited and he felt a chill all over his body. This kind of heaven-defying, monstrous physique that was ranked in the top 10 of the 3,000 physiques actually appeared in front of him alive. What ghost? Chapter 924. Wu Kuan could not imagine how strong the chaos flesh of his pseudo-9 Supreme was. Even his master, Li Jiui, would have to be extremely cautious, let alone him. Wu Kuan's heart pounded heavily as if a giant hand was grabbing it tightly. He was having a hard time catching his breath. His pride as a living being of a monarch tribe was shattered into pieces before the chaos flesh. It was the chaos flesh that even the immortal monarch tribes were drooling over. As for Kong Qianqian, her figure stiffened. She was already petrified. Her mind was still in a daze. The chaos flesh of a pseudo-9 Supreme. How is this possible? Kong Qianqian's eyes were filled with disbelief. In addition to Wu Kuan, Kong Qianqian, every creature of the foreign realm was petrified. Previously, they all thought Jun Xiaoyao was mysterious and unfathomable. However, Jun Xiaoyao had fully unleashed his aura and cultivation. The pseudo-9 Supreme realm and the chaos flesh. It was almost an unbeatable combination among the younger generation. Everyone's mouths went dry. Their hearts were greatly impacted. The old antiques in the sky were especially shocked. They already had a hunch in their hearts, but they were not too sure. However, They finally confirmed it after witnessing it with their own eyes. The mysterious young man in a white outfit with terrifying strength. It turned out to be the legendary Chaos Flesh. This was a huge matter. The appearance of the Chaos Flesh was enough to stir a great storm in both the Nine Heavens immortal realm and the foreign realm. The reason for that was because this type of body constitution was simply too powerful and too rare. There might not even be one in an era. In other words, if one of the two realms had a Chaos Flesh, it would surely become a thorn in the other realm's flesh. The Chaos Flesh was extremely talented. It had the potential to achieve the martial monarch realm without needing any fortunate encounters. It would at least become a martial monarch or an immortal emperor in the future. And now, a living Chaos Flesh had appeared in front of them. How could they not be astounded? Heavens, it's really the aura, the Chaos Flesh, the unparalleled Chaos Flesh. An old antique blurted out in a trembling voice. The birth of a primal chaos body is a major event in our world. Another old antique sighed. The foreign realm had a Chaos Flesh when the two realms were in conflict with one another. This was simply a foreign land's luck. After all, if a chaotic body became an immortal king, his strength would be extremely terrifying. Ordinary people of the same level as him were definitely not his match. You actually have a primal chaos body? The Wukuan people were all dumbfounded, and a chill rose from their throats. Previously, he had thought that Jun Xiaoyao had no background and could be killed at will. But now, F***CK, it's actually a chaotic body. Let's not talk about whether or not he could kill him. Even if he could, he wouldn't dare to. Jun Xiaoyao only needed to ask to join a certain clan. Even the immortal imperial clans would fight to the death to invite him to join them. After all, the value of the chaos body was not worth mentioning. Just his primal chaos bloodline alone was invaluable. If he joined forces with those immortal emperor bloodlines, he might be able to nurture a descendant with an invincible bloodline. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao was now in high demand. No matter how great of a price the immortal emperor clans paid, they would do their best to invite him. At this moment, Wu Kuan's face was pale, his scalp was numb, and he was trembling. Kong Qianqian could no longer maintain her cool demeanor. Her entire body was numb. Her good-for-nothing cousin had offended someone with a chaotic physique? Even if he had no background, he was not someone that anyone could provoke. Damn it! Even when he's dead, he still has to implicate me. Kong Qianqian cursed in her heart, and her beautiful face was extremely pale. Her heart was now filled with deep regret. If she had known that Jun Xiaoyao had the primal chaos body, she definitely wouldn't have dared to provoke him. Sir, you actually have the primal chaos body? Chun was surprised, and her big bright eyes were wide open. She was extremely shocked. She didn't know what kind of body Jun Xiaoyao had before. Fei Qingxue also took a deep breath, and her heart was shaken. However, on second thought, she felt relieved. Sir, you are indeed the spokesperson of the god of fate and creation in the mortal world. Even your body is the primal chaos body. At this moment, Fei Qingxue's faith in the god of fate and creation became even more firm. If even the god envoy had the primal chaos body, then how strong was this god? Even the elders of the icy spirit royal family, who came with him, were dumbfounded. They finally understood why Fei Qingxue told them not to worry. What was there to worry about when he only had the primal chaos body? Haha, we were blind. I didn't expect this young master to have the primal chaos body. Yeah, we worried for nothing. The ice spirit royal elders looked at each other and shook their heads with bitter smiles. They felt that their previous behavior was a bit ridiculous. Make your move. Jun Xiaoyao put one hand behind his back and looked at Wu Kuan. The only one present who was qualified to make a move was Wu Kuan. Jun Xiaoyao was still a little interested in the Infernal Emperor family. Wu Kuan's face turned green as if he had eaten a fly. If it was someone else who provoked him like this, he would have already made his move. However, facing the primal chaos body, no one would not be afraid. Wu Kuan, Kong Qianqian shouted from the side. She was also a little annoyed. Since they had already offended him, they could only think of a way to solve this troublesome problem. It seems that the Infernal Emperor family is just SOSO. Jun Xiaoyao sighed slightly. Enough. Even if you have the primal chaos body, you can't offend the Emperor family's prestige. Wu Kuan let out a long roar and made his move. If he did not make a move, he would become a joke. Boom. It had to be said that when a quasi-supreme attacked, the aura was different. All kinds of Tao patterns surged between heaven and earth. Wu Kuan did not dare to underestimate Jun Xiaoyao at all. He immediately used the Infernal Emperor bloodline ability. He stretched out a hand. A crack appeared in his palm and then split open. An eyeball appeared in his palm. It's the Infernal Emperor family's evil eye. Everyone exclaimed. They did not expect Wu Kuan to use the Infernal Emperor bloodline ability as soon as he attacked. It was just like the Magia family's signature ability, which was invulnerability and magical immunity. The Infernal Emperor family naturally had their own bloodline ability, which was the so-called Infernal Eye. Anyone with the Infernal Emperor family's bloodline would have an evil eye in their palm, which had all kinds of unbelievably powerful abilities. Legend had it that when the Infernal Evil Eye appeared, heaven and earth would be destroyed and all things would be silent. Infernal Eye, Evil Eye Binding. Wu Kuan shouted loudly. The Infernal Eye in his palm emitted a misty black light. This was one of his trump cards. It could bind the opponent's primordial spirit, freeze it, and then be at his mercy. This move could be said to be successful in battle. It had helped Wu Kuan kill countless opponents. If caught off guard, even a quasi-supreme of the same level would be frozen for a few breaths. And this time was more than enough to kill the enemy. Jun Xiaoyao immediately felt that an invisible force was imprisoning his primordial spirit like chains, trying to freeze it. Interesting. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. He traveled to the foreign lands to gather all kinds of information. Collecting information about the abilities of these foreign emperor families was also part of it. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao standing still, Wu Kuan was overjoyed and directly struck out with his palm. So what if you have a chaotic body? You will still be defeated by me. But in the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao made his move. Nothing out of the ordinary happened as he threw out a palm attack, causing chaotic chi to surge like an ocean. Puffed. Wu Kuan spat out blood. Half of his body cracked, and his bones shattered. He was incomparably shocked, and his scalp went numb. He looked at Jun Xiaoyao in disbelief. You're just distracted to comprehend the mysteries of this move. Do you really think you can restrain me? Jun Xiaoyao's tone was indifferent. He condensed the chaotic palm print again and slammed it down at Wu Kuan, about to kill him. Wu Kuan was shocked. His Tao heart was about to collapse. He hurriedly took out a jade slip and crushed it. Boom! Black light shot into the sky, and pressure filled the air. A blurry young figure appeared, carrying a powerful aura. His voice was incomparably cold. How dare you touch my people? I have to say, you are very bold. Seeing this illusory figure, everyone fell silent. It's the peerless genius of the Infernal Emperor family, Li Jioi. Chapter 925. Li Jioi of the Infernal Imperial clan was famous in the foreign realm. He was one of the leading figures of the younger generation and was also one of the top 3 heavenly kings in terms of combat strength. It was rumored that he had the Infernal Evil Eye, which showed signs of atavism. He had all kinds of powerful and terrifying abilities. There was a wisp of Li Jioi's soul in the jade slip that Wu Kuan crushed. As long as one crushed the jade slip at a critical moment, Li Jioi's primordial spirit would appear. Generally speaking, as long as it was in the foreign realm, most people would give Li Jioi face. Therefore, this was also Wu Kuan's last life-saving method. I'll give you a chance to come to the Infernal Imperial clan and beg for forgiveness. You can also, before Li Jioi's primordial spirit finished speaking, Jun Xiaoyao waved his hand casually and chaotic chi surged. It directly destroyed Li Jioi's primordial spirit. All of the living beings were dumbstruck, extremely astonished. Wu Kuan was also stunned, and his breathing almost stopped. In the foreign realm, even immortal emperor creatures would give face to his master. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not care at all and directly destroyed Li Jiuyi's primordial spirit, not even letting him finish his words. A wisp of primordial spirit is not qualified to talk to me, Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. Since when could a wisp of primordial spirit speak wantonly in front of him? Even if you have the chaotic body, you can't provoke the infernal imperial clan. Wu Kuan stepped back, appearing fierce but cowardly. Kong Qianqian also said with a pale face, "Now, you've already killed many royal clans and quasi-emperor clans. If you kill us, the infernal imperial clan and the Black Peacock royal clan will not let you go." After sensing Jun Xiaoyao's killing intent, Kong Qianqian could only use her background. After all, they could not defeat him, and their background was the only thing they could rely on. Even the old antiques in the sky tried to persuade him in a friendly manner. "Little friend, don't go too far. You have already offended many royal clans and quasi-emperor clans. You can't offend the real emperor clans. That's right, you have the chaotic body and unlimited talent. You don't have to make so many enemies for yourself." These old antiques were all expressing their goodwill and wanted to establish good karma with Jun Xiaoyao. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had the chaotic body with limitless potential. When Wu Kuan saw this, his panicked expression also calmed down. There was a hint of relief in his eyes. He rejoiced that he was someone from the Emperor clan. The corners of his mouth curled up into a faint, mocking smile. Of course, he was not foolish enough to provoke Jun Xiaoyao, so he simply said, "You've seen the current situation. Your chaotic body is indeed strong, but so what? You still can't offend us monarch clans. How about this? Hand over the 5 heavenly immortal fruits, and perhaps Master won't pursue the matter of offending him." Kong Qianqian regained her composure and said, "Fine. Hand over the heavenly immortal fruit and immortal spirit leaf, and I'll forget about my cousin's death." Kong Qianqian was also unwilling to become enemies with the primal chaos body because of Kong Xiang. That would be too unwise. Now that they could resolve their grudges and still gain benefits, why not? Wu Kuan and Kong Qianqian both thought that they had already expressed their goodwill, and Jun Xiaoyao should compromise. Hearing this, Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything. Chun Chun, who was beside him, widened her eyes and glared angrily. Even she was angry. Just as Chun Chun was about to scold them, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly, "So, you're bullying me because I don't have a background?" Wu Kuan smiled and didn't comment. Jun Xiaoyao also smiled. As one of the noblest people in Jiuqian City, it was Jun Xiaoyao's first time experiencing being called a person without a background. Was this what it meant to be bullied by dogs? Although you have the chaotic body, you still have to understand the rules of our world. How about this? If you hand over the heavenly immortal fruits, I might let you join the Black Peacock royal clan or the Infernal clan. Kong Qianqian also regained her cool and elegant demeanor. So what if he had the chaotic body? So what if his talent was heaven-defying? Without a background, he had no confidence. Furthermore, it was hard to say when he would die. Chun Chun and Fei Qingxue were furious when they heard this. However, to everyone's surprise, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was very calm, without the slightest trace of anger. He nodded faintly and said, "That's right. You're right. It's good that you understand." A smile appeared on Kong Qianqian's lips. In the next moment, the smile on her lips froze. Jun Xiaoyao's lips were muttering, as if he was chanting something. Now, what is that chaotic body doing? Many of the foreign creatures looked puzzled. Wu Kuan and Kong Qianqian were even more puzzled. Only Fei Qingxue seemed to have thought of something, and there was a hint of unprecedented excitement in her beautiful eyes. Could it be boom? Suddenly, the world changed color, and the universe shook. Above the sky, it was as if there were chaotic waves crashing. The galaxy shifted, and all directions trembled, under everyone's shocked gazes. Above the firmament, light surged and shone. In that void, an incomparably huge crack appeared, as if a corner of the universe was lifted, and in that giant universe crack, a blurry and terrifying demonic figure sat cross-legged in the depths of the universe. It was as if an ancient demon god had revived. A wisp of aura crushed the heavens. An unprecedented, terrifying pressure enveloped heaven and earth in all directions. In the entire fallen immortal ridge, all of the foreign creatures were pressed down to the ground by this pressure. Their hearts seemed to be grabbed by a large hand, and their blood vessels were about to burst. That aura made everyone tremble. It's the immortal king. A foreign creature lost his voice and couldn't help but cry out in alarm. The immortal king, the top king of the foreign world, known as an immortal and indestructible existence. If an immortal king appeared in a clan, the entire clan could become a quasi-emperor clan. And now they saw a true immortal king. Even if it was just a projection, it was enough to make everyone tremble. Even a few old antiques in the sky fell to the ground, kneeling on the ground. Only now did they realize that Jun Xiaoyao should have been silently chanting the true name of the immortal king just now. This led to the descent of the immortal king's projection. At this moment, all of the foreign creatures knelt down, their minds shaken, their scalps turning numb. They cried out in unison, "We pay our respects to the immortal king." All of the foreign creatures knelt down piously, their bodies trembling. As for Wu Kuan and Kong Qianqian, they had long been suppressed by that wisp of aura pressed down to the ground. Right now, they were like two quails, shivering endlessly, completely terrified. How is this possible? Behind him stands an immortal king? Wu Kuan's face was even more deathly pale than before, as if he was grieving for his parents. Impossible. Just which bloodline of Emperor clan did he come from? Kong Qianqian's cold and elegant temperament disappeared once more. Right now, she was simply like a dead person, her face lacking color, inwardly terrified. They previously bullied Jun Xiaoyao because he didn't have any background. In the end, the other party silently chanted his true name, directly producing an immortal king. Chapter 926. At this moment, everyone knelt down. Even Chun and Fei Qingxue knelt down. In the foreign realm, the immortal kings were the heavens, the gods, and the law. No one dared to face the immortal kings without kneeling. Only Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands behind his back, leaning against the mysterious and blurry immortal king. His aura was otherworldly. "Now, do I have the right to kill you?" Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. This. Wu Kuan's courage was shattered, and he couldn't speak at all. His background as an Infernal Clan member was useless. It was because the Infernal Clan wouldn't go against a chaotic body and an immortal king for a servant like him. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't be bothered to delay. He struck out with his palm, and chaotic energy poured down like a waterfall, washing through the void. Pooh! Wu Kuan was instantly drowned by the chaotic energy. His physical body and primordial spirit shattered, and he couldn't be more dead. The blood that splattered out landed on Kong Qianqian's body. Her fair and cold, beautiful face was covered in viscous blood that dripped down bit by bit, and it caused her Dao heart to collapse completely. She crawled toward Jun Xiaoyao like a bitch, tears and snot flowing down her cold face. How beautiful she was before was how miserable she was now. "Young master, please spare me. Qianqian is willing to be a slave. You can do whatever you want to me. You can ravage me however you want, just don't kill me." Kong Qianqian crawled toward Jun Xiaoyao and begged. Seeing this scene, the corners of all the foreign realm beings' mouths twitched. Kong Qianqian was the Infernal Imperial Clan's prodigy, Li Jiuyi's concubine. Now, she was crawling toward Jun Xiaoyao like a bitch, begging for mercy. This was too King despicable. Even Li Jiuyi's reputation would be tarnished. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't even be bothered to look at Kong Qianqian. He casually flicked his finger. A wisp of chaotic energy shot toward Kong Qianqian, causing her head and primordial spirit to explode. Only her headless body was left on the ground. Then, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes swept across the place. On this mountain peak, all the royal prodigies who had made a move against him or made a fuss about it were there. One by one, their heads exploded. Blood mist filled the sky, and broken bones covered the ground. In the end, only Jun Xiaoyao, Chun, and Fei Qingxue were left on a mountain peak. Jun Xiaoyao didn't feel the slightest bit of pressure when killing these foreign prodigies. He even wanted to kill 2 more. Seeing this, all the living beings lowered their heads and shivered. They didn't even dare to breathe too loudly. Grim Reaper, Demon King. These words appeared in everyone's minds. This newly born chaotic physique had no scruples in doing things. He was simply a god of death. Even those old antiques who had advised Jun Xiaoyao to stop before going too far wisely chose to shut up now. With an immortal king backing him up, who still dared to speak out of turn, the entire place was as silent as cicadas in winter. A smile appeared in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes when he saw that. He didn't expect the heaven-illuminating technique to be so useful in scaring people. The projection in the air was none other than Jun Xiaoyao, who had projected the evil will of the gods using the light of the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao also knew that no one present dared to investigate carefully. After all, the foreign realm worshipped the law of the jungle. They didn't dare to offend the dignity of an immortal king at all. There was no need to talk about investigating it in detail. However, it didn't matter even if someone investigated. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't afraid. They would only find a mysterious mass of nothingness. Behind Jun Xiaoyao, Chunchun was extremely surprised. She didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to have such a background. At the same time, she looked at Jun Xiaoyao, who had killed everyone. Chunchun didn't think that Jun Xiaoyao was cruel. Instead, her big eyes revealed a look of admiration. Wasn't this the great hero she had been looking for? Chunchun had also fantasized that her lover would make the world his enemy and kill everything for her. There was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao was the one who fit her fantasy the best. Mysterious, powerful, and handsome. However, he liked to tease her and call her Tiny Tot occasionally. At this moment, Chunchun's heart was a little numb. Beside her, Fei Qingxue's beautiful eyes were filled with devotion and fanaticism. She looked at the kneeling creatures and sneered in her heart. He's just a servant of the great god of fate and creation, and you're already so scared. If the real god of fate and creation descends, how shocked will you be? Fei Qingxue was already looking forward to the moment when the god of fate and creation truly appeared. Presumably, the entire foreign realm would be shaken. As for the Ice Spirit royal family elders, they were extremely happy while they were shocked. I didn't expect this white-robed man to have such a great background. It seems that we were blind. That's right. It's misfortune to be able to interact with such a person. The Ice Spirit royal family elders were completely relieved. Next, after dealing with the flies, Jun Xiaoyao also prepared to eat the heavenly, immortal fruit. A pair of eyes were glued to him. Take it. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and threw a heavenly, immortal fruit to Chunchun. Chunchun was his little tool, so he still needed to feed her. Thank you, sir. Chunchun took the heavenly, immortal fruit and said in a sweet voice. Then, she eagerly took a big bite. There was a hint of envy in Fei Qingxue's beautiful eyes, but she was very obedient and tactful. She lowered her head slightly and was very respectful. Qingxue, you too. Jun Xiaoyao also gave a heavenly immortal fruit to Fei Qingxue. Fei Qingxue immediately raised her head. Her beautiful face was full of flattery. She really didn't expect this. The fact that Jun Xiaoyao was able to give her a cup of celestial tea was already a huge favor. Heavenly immortal fruit was much more precious than immortal tea. Even if Jun Xiaoyao didn't give it to her, Fei Qingxue wouldn't have any complaints. Sir, this is too precious. Fei Qingxue was a little helpless. Take it. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Fei Qingxue was the daughter of Providence that he had personally created. She was also a chess piece that he had planted in the royal class. In the future, he would still need to rely on her to spread his teachings among the royal class. Therefore, he couldn't treat her unfairly. Thank you, sir. Fei Qingxue took the heavenly immortal fruit, her snow-white and beautiful face blushing. Her feelings toward Jun Xiaoyao were mainly due to her devout respect and reverence. But now, this feeling was mixed with a trace of inexplicable emotion. The way she looked at Jun Xiaoyao was filled with admiration, as well as a hint of adoration. Of course, Fei Qingxue was very self-aware. She knew that she wasn't good enough for Jun Xiaoyao, so she didn't show it. But Jun Xiaoyao saw it all and just smiled. Fei Qingxue liked him, and this was even better. She could work for him wholeheartedly. The few elders of the Ice Spirit royal family were overjoyed for Fei Qingxue. They felt that she had been hit by a pie that fell from the sky. Not only could she get to know the mysterious and terrifying chaotic body, but she could also taste immortal tea and immortal fruits. If our Ice Spirit royal family can cling to this young master's thigh, the Ice Spirit royal family elder's heart became lively. This was a chaotic body, and there was a mysterious and powerful immortal king behind him. If he grew up in the future, a casual word from him could make the Ice Spirit royal family stand tall. Not to mention being bullied by the Firestone royal family. All the otherworldly creatures present had various thoughts in their minds. Jun Xiaoyao picked up the remaining 3 heavenly immortal fruits and ate them directly. Young friend, heavenly immortal fruits aren't eaten like this. An old antique couldn't help but shout. Because the heavenly immortal fruits were too effective, most of them were used to make pills and medicine to neutralize the medicinal effects. If one's physique wasn't good enough, one might explode after eating one. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao ate all 3 heavenly immortal fruits one after another. Boom! An extremely majestic energy erupted from Jun Xiaoyao's body. Each heavenly immortal fruit contained the essence of the heavenly immortal tree and contained a trace of immortal blood. Just the energy alone was enough to raise one's cultivation level. Not to mention, the heavenly immortal fruits also contained all kinds of Tao Law divine essence, which was also a priceless item. Let me see how much my strength will increase with 7 cups of immortal tea and 3 heavenly immortal fruits. Jun Xiaoyao was curious. Chapter 927. Immortal mist surged around Jun Xiaoyao's body, and spiritual light was dense. There was also chaotic mist surging like waves. There were also all kinds of shocking phenomena that appeared. Flowers fell from the sky, golden lotuses bloomed from the ground, true dragons emerged from the sea, and divine phoenixes struck the sky. There were also mountains, rivers, seas, the sun, the moon, and stars that appeared. It was extremely mysterious and complicated. Jun Xiaoyao felt that the 3 heavenly immortal fruits in his body had turned into a majestic power that surged like a tide. If it were other ordinary people, they wouldn't be able to withstand it. Their bodies would expand and explode. However, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't do that. After all, his current physique was the same as the Azure Emperor's, the chaotic physique. Even if it was the previous sacred body of the ancients, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't be in any trouble. As expected of the unparalleled chaotic physique, it can't be judged by common sense. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao was safe and sound, the few old antiques sighed. After drinking 7 cups of immortal tea and swallowing 3 heavenly immortal fruits, Jun Xiaoyao acted as if nothing had happened. It could only be said that his physique was too strong and could digest any opportunity at will. I can imagine that our world will stir up another storm because of this chaotic physique, an old antique sighed. Yes, those Emperor clan elites, sealed princes, and descendants of the ancient clans will probably not be able to hold back and want to spar with this chaotic physique. I'm looking forward to the scene of this chaotic physique competing with the various Emperor clan elites. When the Ares Academy opens, I wonder if this chaotic physique will be able to compete for the title of God of War. Now it seems that this chaotic physique is invincible. It's very likely. While Jun Xiaoyao was cultivating, those old antiques whispered to each other. They didn't expect that they would encounter the birth of a chaotic physique during the celestial immortal banquet. It was really beyond their expectations. Rumble. Jun Xiaoyao's body was surrounded by shocking phenomena. Wisps of chaotic qi fell down like a waterfall. As time passed, a wisp of immortal qi appeared on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body again. This wisp of immortal qi was chaotic as if it came from the beginning of the universe. Primal chaos, immortal energy. This was the 13th strand of immortal energy that Jun Xiaoyao had condensed. If news of this were to spread, it would shock countless people. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation was also rising steadily. The early stage of quasi-supreme, middle stage quasi-supreme, late stage quasi-supreme. In the end, it rose to quasi-supreme small perfection before it stopped. Jun Xiaoyao might not be able to break through to the supreme being level. One had to know that in the 7th level of the supreme martial artist realm, any small realm was more difficult to break through than several large realms in the 9th level of the sage realm combined. Jun Xiaoyao's breakthrough from the early stage of quasi-supreme all the way to small perfection had already caused all the foreign creatures present to become deathly silent. Is this the monstrous talent of the chaotic body? A king race genius was shocked beyond words. His worldview was toppled. He had never thought that cultivation would actually be such a simple matter. They were both humans, but was there really such a huge difference between them? Freak, exceptional great freak. Why do I feel like even those Emperor clan elites and leaders didn't break through so quickly? Be more confident, get rid of that feeling. If it was before, Jun Xiaoyao had shocked everyone with his ferocious might. Then now, Jun Xiaoyao had shocked everyone with his monstrous talent. In the foreign land, where the strong were respected, Jun Xiaoyao was undoubtedly the kind of person who would be endlessly respected. There were already many female creatures present, their beautiful eyes full of splendor. This is the unparalleled chaotic body. If only we could dual cultivate with this young master, there would definitely be great benefits. If we give birth to a monkey for this young master, will the offspring also inherit the chaotic bloodline? You guys are thinking too much. Will the chaotic body take a fancy to you? A few female creatures were chattering and whispering to each other. The foreign land survival laws were cruel. If a woman's talent and strength were not strong, and her background was not strong, there were only 2 paths she could take. Otherwise, she would be bullied and slaughtered, just like Fei Qingxue. Otherwise, she would find a powerful Dao companion to be her backer, such as Kong Qianqian. Therefore, in the foreign land, it was not an exaggeration to say that some top experts had 3 palaces and 6 courtyards and 72 concubines. With Jun Xiaoyao's talent and strength, plus the mysterious immortal king behind him, he was definitely the Dao companion of many women's dreams. Not to mention that he was also handsome. TSK, these thirsty women like wolves and tigers. Do you really think that Sir will take a fancy to you vulgar women? Chuan's big eyes swept across those female creatures, and her red lips curled in disdain. Little did she know that at this moment, she looked like a little hen protecting her food. Jun Xiaoyao stood up, feeling the surging power in his body, and the corners of his mouth curled into a smile. Only the improvement of his strength could bring him such joy. Women would only affect his cultivation progress. In addition to my strength increasing to the lesser perfection quasi-supreme and the chaotic immortal chi, I also refined the law fragments from the heavenly immortal fruit. Jun Xiaoyao felt the law fragments floating in his inner universe. Those fragments were like broken glass. They were all law fragments. If the 9th level of the Saint Realm was to comprehend and sense the various laws of heaven and earth, order and Tao laws, then the 7th level of the Supreme Realm was to try to condense, evolve, and control these laws. Jun Xiaoyao had 13 strands of immortal qi, which meant that he could condense and control at least 13 laws in the future. This was terrifying to the extreme. A single law was enough to achieve the autark realm. 13 laws. How great would the achievement be? In the ancient saying, there was a supreme realm. It represented 9 as the supreme realm. A supreme realm master who controlled 9 laws was the true supreme realm of the supreme realm. A supreme realm master with 10 laws was already considered to have broken through the supreme realm. What was a supreme realm master with 13 laws? The supreme realm of the supreme realm? If Jun Xiaoyao condensed 13 laws, he would probably be able to dominate even among the supreme realm masters, and even surpass those supreme realm masters. Jun Xiaoyao also had a premonition that if he broke through to the supreme realm, he would definitely attract an extremely terrifying tribulation. If only there were more law fragments, then it could help me condense the laws faster. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Suddenly, his gaze fell on the celestial tree. A light flashed in his eyes. Congratulations on the great improvement in your realm. A few old antiques stepped forward and cupped their hands to Jun Xiaoyao. Their tone was very kind and amiable. Perhaps Jun Xiaoyao's current cultivation realm was still below theirs, but they believed that with the chaotic physique, it wouldn't be long before he could surpass them. This celestial tree is an ownerless object? Jun Xiaoyao asked. It is indeed an ownerless object, or rather, it is a public object, an old antique replied. He was a little puzzled, not understanding why Jun Xiaoyao asked this. All right then. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly and walked directly to the celestial tree. As he reached out, the chaotic palm print condensed and grabbed the celestial tree. This scene left all of the foreign creatures incomparably shocked. Even the old antiques were stunned. They froze on the spot and were speechless for a moment. The old antiques were speechless. Jun Xiaoyao actually wanted to uproot the celestial tree and take it for his own use. This shocked everyone. Wasn't he too ruthless? He didn't leave any opportunities for the other geniuses of the heavenly tomb state at all. It was simply too despicable. Chapter 928. Everyone was speechless. They didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to do such a thing. Normally, if one were to obtain an opportunity, they would leave some of it behind to bless their descendants. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, was going to uproot the celestial immortal tree and not leave anything for others. Young friend, don't be rash. An old antique cried out in surprise. It wasn't that they wanted to stop Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao's background was mysterious, and there was an immortal king behind him. They didn't dare to stop him at all. It was because the celestial immortal tree had a wisp of spiritual consciousness. It had the ability to protect itself and was extremely powerful. If Jun Xiaoyao attacked forcefully, he might be counterattacked by the celestial immortal tree. If the celestial immortal tree counterattacked, the younger generation definitely wouldn't be able to withstand it. The few old antiques didn't want their chaotic physique to die in such a ridiculous way. Sensing the attack of the chaotic giant palm, they wanted to uproot it. The bare branches of the celestial immortal tree trembled, and then suddenly whipped at Jun Xiaoyao. Like a long dragon, it shattered the void. All kinds of immortal Tao runes were extremely resplendent and powerful. It could be said that even a true supremacy might not be able to block it. Boom! With a loud bang, the dragon-like branches directly shattered the chaotic giant palm, and then whipped at Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao had long expected this. He directly summoned the everlasting sword embryo. The everlasting sword embryo was surrounded by chaotic energy. It released an incomparably sharp sword light and collided with the branches of the celestial immortal tree. Clang! The sound of metal colliding was heard. Sparks flew out from the friction, incomparably dazzling. Runes flew out like flames. The branches of the celestial immortal tree were actually harder than any divine metal or immortal gold. They weren't ordinary plants at all. A tree tempered by the blood of an immortal. Even its branches are comparable to immortal gold. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. This celestial immortal tree itself was an expert. The exchange between Jun Xiaoyao and the celestial immortal tree also stunned everyone. They didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to be able to resist the celestial immortal tree. That weapon is also quite extraordinary. The few old antiques looked at the everlasting sword embryo in Jun Xiaoyao's hand. Jun Xiaoyao's origins became increasingly mysterious in their eyes. Even his weapons were extraordinary. Looks like it's still resisting. Jun Xiaoyao frowned. Then, a thought flashed through his mind. The celestial immortal tree's hand. The celestial immortal tree, the immortal immortal tree, immortal, 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 T's immortal, 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 immortals, immortal, T. The old antique's expressions changed as the branch was about to pierce through Jun Xiaoyao. Zheng! The branch, which looked like a spear, came to an abrupt halt when it was only a foot away from Jun Xiaoyao. In the next moment, the earth shook and the sky swayed. The entire mountain peak began to tremble and rocks rolled down. The celestial immortal tree was uprooted. The roots moved as if they were two human legs, heading straight for Jun Xiaoyao. It looked as if it was about to return to its mother's embrace. It was excited and impatient. What? Everyone was dumbfounded, shocked, and stunned. Their jaws almost fell to the ground. The old antiques were even more dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? The celestial immortal tree was like a human, uprooting itself in the ground, and then running toward Jun Xiaoyao. Everyone was stunned. Their eyeballs were about to fall out. They had never seen such a strange scene in their lives. The void flashed slightly. The celestial immortal tree disappeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Only a huge pit was left on the mountain peak. The celestial immortal tree of the fallen immortal ridge was completely not fated with the creatures of the state of heavenly tomb. All the foreign creatures present were stupefied and didn't come back to their senses. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a faint smile. Just now, he released the aura of the world tree. To a certain extent, the world tree could be considered the ancestor of all trees. It was the ancestor of all ancient trees. It could be said that even if it was just a small sapling, if planted next to the world tree, it could become a towering tree. The celestial immortal tree had a weak spiritual consciousness. After sensing the aura of the world tree, it naturally couldn't resist and wanted to take root next to the world tree. Jun Xiaoyao moved the celestial immortal tree into his inner universe without any effort. Since it's an ownerless object, then it's naturally for the fated to obtain it. Well, I'm just ordinary. I'm just a little lucky, Jun Xiaoyao sighed. The old antiques' mouths twitched, and their faces were full of black lines. They revealed smiles that were even uglier than crying. You have the chaotic body. Whatever you say is right. The celestial immortal banquet ended. Obviously, the only winner was Jun Xiaoyao. Almost all the other foreign prodigies who participated were dead. By the way, young friend, let me tell you about the Ares Academy, an old antique reminded. Ares Academy? Jun Xiaoyao looked surprised. After learning a little about it, Jun Xiaoyao also knew that it was equivalent to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy of the Celestial Realm. When the Ares Academy opens, there will be monsters from all over. If you want to train your chaotic body, the Ares Academy is the best choice, an old man said. Jun Xiaoyao nodded. If he wanted to understand the foreign world, the Academy was indeed the most convenient and fast way. Most importantly, it was convenient to ask for all kinds of information. Originally, I had the qualifications to go to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy to receive the immortal level inheritance, but due to some fate, I ended up in the foreign world. However, when the Ares Academy opens, there should be a top-level inheritance similar to the Immortal Academy. Is this considered as the east window not being bright and the west window being bright? Jun Xiaoyao thought and found it a little funny. Coincidentally, he was also very curious about the opportunities and inheritances of the foreign world. As for qualifications, as long as Jun Xiaoyao wanted it, he would definitely get it. Sir, there's still some time before the Ares Academy opens. If you don't mind, you can come to my clan to rest temporarily. Fei Qingshue's heart was in turmoil. After hesitating for a long time, she mustered up her courage and said with a red face. Fei Qingxue, who was originally an ice beauty, had become so obedient and respectful. The surrounding creatures couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, everyone wanted to ride the chaotic body's coattails. It didn't matter even if they had to pay. That's fine, Jun Xiaoyao nodded. With the deterrence of the Heaven Illuminator, he also happened to have the idea of bringing the entire Ice Spirit royal family under his command first. As for those powerhouses whose realms exceeded Jun Xiaoyao's, as long as he could fool them, there wouldn't be any problems in the short term. As time passed, no matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, he could continue to control them. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's affirmative answer, Fei Qingxue was overjoyed. She and Chun Chun both drank the immortal tea and ate the heavenly immortal fruit. Their strength was incomparable to before. And all of this was due to Jun Xiaoyao's grace. Jun Xiaoyao left the fallen immortal ridge under the respectful reception of Fei Qingxue and several Ice Spirit royal family elders. He headed to the Ice Spirit royal family's residence. No one present dared to stop Jun Xiaoyao. Even those royal families, quasi-emperor clans, and so on, whose geniuses had died in Jun Xiaoyao's hands, didn't dare to act rashly. After all, it involved the chaotic body and the mysterious immortal king. They could only report the information to their clans. Chapter 9:29. The heavenly immortal banquet ended. However, this was only the beginning of its impact. As the people of various races left, all kinds of news about the heavenly immortal banquet spread throughout the entire Heavenly Tomb province as if they had grown wings. Even the other great prefectures were affected. After all, this heavenly immortal banquet was unprecedented. A chaotic physique that was hard to come by since ancient times had been born. This was definitely big news that would set off shocking waves in the entire foreign realm. After all, the primal chaos body was ranked in the top 10 of the 3,000 primal chaos body constitutions. It even had the potential to become a great emperor. In the foreign realm, it was a given that it could become an immortal king. Not to mention, there was also the appearance of a mysterious immortal king at the end. This caused everyone to be even more shocked. A primal chaos body and a mysterious immortal king. Many of the foreign races were guessing. Could it be that another mysterious, hidden monarch tribe was about to show itself? Although most of the immortal emperor races were known in the foreign realm. However, there were also some extremely ancient emperor races that had been hidden for countless epochs. Those hidden emperor races might not even know about some of the old antiques. It was apparent that many beings from the other realms had mistaken Jun Xiaoyao for a seed-level figure from Hidden Monarch clan. He woke up in this epoch and then made a move, sweeping through his peers. After the heavenly immortal banquet ended, the ones that were directly affected were the fiery rock royal race and the black peacock royal race. After all, they had the deepest and most direct conflict with Jun Xiaoyao. Damn it! In the fiery rock royal race's palace, Prince Yan's father, Heavenly Venerate Raging Flames, roared angrily. His son had been swatted to death like a fly in front of the public. Anyone would find it hard to accept. Clan Master, calm down. That's right. The one who killed His Highness is a primal chaos body. He also has the mysterious immortal king behind him. That primal chaos body might be a seedling of a hidden emperor race. He cannot be provoked. Below, many fiery rock royal race elders were advising Heavenly Venerate Raging Flames. They were afraid that Heavenly Venerate Raging Flames would act rashly and do something brainless. At this moment, the fiery rock royal race's first elder arrived. He glanced at Heavenly Venerate Raging Flames. The ancestor said that we must not provoke that chaotic body. At the same time, hand over all the cities and lands our clan has occupied. We even need to prepare a large amount of resources and apologize to the Ice Spirit royal family. What? Hearing this, Empyrean Inferno's eyes widened in disbelief. Not only could he not avenge his son, but he also had to apologize to the Ice Spirit royal family. According to the ancestor's words, this child must not be provoked, said the great elder. All the elders present were dead silent as they took a deep breath. Their old ancestor wasn't a quasi-undying or undying king. However, he was still a Chaos Dao master. How could he be so wary of a young man? Empyrean Blazing Flames sat on the throne with a plop, as if he had aged a few hundred years in an instant. He knew that if that primal chaos body was really a seed of the hidden monarch race, then the monarch race would definitely have a chance. Forget about revenge. They could only pray that the Ice Spirit royal family wouldn't use the chaotic body to kill the fiery rock royal family. At the same time, the Black Peacock royal family was also in an uproar. As a top royal family, the overall strength of the Black Peacock royal family was much stronger than that of the fiery rock royal family. At this moment, the Black Peacock royal family's ancestral land was also in a mess. Did you hear? Miss Qianqian was killed at the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. Yes, the one who killed Miss Qianqian was a chaotic body. Gosh, such a heaven-defying physique actually appeared. Not only that, that chaotic body silently recited his true name, and an immortal phantom descended. Could it be that the chaotic body really came from an ancient hidden monarch family, like the legends say? The entire Black Peacock royal family was in an uproar. After all, they were all looking forward to the marriage between Kong Qianqian and Li Jiui. That way, the Black Peacock royal family could be considered to have climbed up to the glory of the monarch family. Now, everything had turned into a bubble. At this moment, in the ancestral land of the Black Peacock royal family, a floating island was suspended in the sky. It was the Peacock Island, and also the Black Peacock royal family's ancestor, the Peacock King, was in seclusion. The Peacock King was a famous quasi-immortal in the foreign realm. He was once on par with the Scarlet Owl King. However, the Scarlet Owl King broke through to the Immortal King realm and ascended, becoming a quasi-emperor clan. As long as the Peacock King broke through to the Immortal realm, the entire Black Peacock royal family could also become a quasi-emperor clan. At this moment, under the Peacock Island, the Black Peacock royal family's current patriarch led a group of elders here. "We request an audience with the ancestor," the Black Peacock royal family's patriarch shouted. This incident was too important, and it had a far-reaching impact on the Black Peacock royal family. If it was an ordinary enemy, there was no need to alarm the Peacock King. They would directly destroy the other party. However, the one who killed Kong Qianqian this time was a mysterious chaotic body. He had even silently recited his true name and manifested an immortal phantom. Therefore, the people of the Black Peacock royal family did not dare to act rashly, fearing that they would provoke a hidden monarch family. Then they would be finished. Already know about this matter. Wait for me to divine. A gloomy voice came from the Peacock Island. Allow me to divine who you are. On the Peacock Island, an old man with a shriveled figure like a walnut and a black cloak said indifferently. With a move of his divine will, he triggered the laws of heaven and earth. Vaguely, time and space were fluctuating. Even the strings of karma were trembling slightly. A quasi-immortal phantom of a foreign realm was equivalent to a quasi-emperor of the immortal realm. Not to mention the Peacock King, who had been in the quasi-immortal realm for many years. He was only a fine line away from becoming a true immortal king. His mighty power was earth-shattering. However, after some calculations, the Peacock King was shocked. He could not divine the origin of that chaotic body and the mysterious immortal phantom behind it. He wanted to continue divining, but in the end, he suffered an inexplicable backlash. His body trembled, and he spat out a small mouthful of blood. How is this possible? The Peacock King was shocked, and his turbid pupils were trembling. He had been in seclusion for many years, but today he was injured for the first time in a long time. There are only two possibilities. First, that chaotic body does not have a past at all. It is a void, a person who does not exist, but that is impossible. Second, there is a supreme who blocked and erased his karma. At the very least, it has to be an immortal king or above, much stronger than me. Could it really be a hidden emperor clan? But I have never heard of it. The Peacock King was incomparably shocked. For an expert like him, any waves could be ignored. The only thing that was most terrifying was the unknown. Ancestor. Below the Peacock Island, the Black Peacock royal clan's patriarch and the others heard a faint cough of blood. This made them incomparably terrified, and their voices were trembling. Could it be that their clan's ancestor, the Peacock King, was injured in the divination? Enough, don't get involved in this matter. The Peacock King's slightly tired voice sounded. Then, ancestor, are we going to let this grudge go? Originally, our clan had a marriage alliance with the Infernal Emperor clan. The Black Peacock royal clan's patriarch wanted to say something, but hesitated. Then let the Infernal Emperor clan deal with this matter. Perhaps they have the confidence. The Peacock King's voice sounded. Yes, the Black Peacock royal clan's patriarch and the others lowered their heads and retreated. No matter how unwilling and angry they were, there was nothing they could do. Even the Peacock King was afraid and did not want to get involved in this karma. It seems that the chaotic body really has a great background. Even the ancestor is afraid. A black peacock royal clan's elder sighed and said helplessly, if Jun Xiaoyao knew what these foreign creatures were thinking, he would definitely laugh involuntarily. These foreign creatures were just too good at imagining things, tricking themselves into believing what they were saying. Chapter 930. Just as Fei Qingxue led Jun Xiaoyao and the others to the Ice Spirit royal family's encampment, many clans in the entire Heavenly Tomb State were inquiring about the situation, waiting for a storm to arise. But to everyone's astonishment, the Cinder-classed royal family and the Black Peacock royal family remained silent, as if they didn't know what happened at the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. This surprised the group of people. It seemed that these two clans were really terrified. But to everyone's surprise, the Infernal clan didn't make any moves either. This was very surprising. Everyone thought to themselves, if it was their own Li Jiawan. His servant was casually killed. His concubine was humiliated, lying on the ground like a bitch, and finally killed. No one will be able to take this lying down, right? It seems that the chaotic body really has a powerful background. Even the Infernal clan is afraid of it. It's also possible that the Infernal clan doesn't want to become enemies with the chaotic body and the immortal king behind it because of Kong Qianqian. Many people were discussing that said, without a doubt, many people believe that the legend of the chaotic body being from a hidden imperial clan. However, a few days later, a piece of news suddenly came out and caused a huge commotion. I, Li Jiawan, look forward to meeting the chaotic body and sparring at the Ares Academy. A sentence was transmitted out, although there wasn't much anger on the surface. But everyone knew that the so-called sparring was not that simple. This was an arranged battle, because there might be a mysterious force behind the chaotic body. That was why the Infernal clan didn't want to completely fall out with him, and asked Li Jiawan to restrain himself. On a plane, Jun Xiaoyao chuckled when he heard this. An Emperor clan elite? I'm a little interested. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Sir, none of the Emperor clan members are easy to deal with. You must be careful, Chun Chun said. Although in her heart, Jun Xiaoyao was invincible among his peers. But she still had to remind him. Jun Xiaoyao glanced at Chun Chun and felt that her attitude towards him seemed to have changed slightly after the Heavenly Immortal Banquet. You little brat, you also know how to care for others? Hearing that, Chun Chun immediately blushed. She turned her face away and stammered. No. I'm just afraid that if you are careless and fall into my trap, no one will feed me afterward. Jun Xiaoyao saw through it, but did not say anything. If he kept this little girl, she would be useful in the future. A few days later, Jun Xiaoyao arrived at the Ice Spirit royal family's residence. A city built from 10,000-year-old profound ice stood tall in the wind and snow. Surprisingly, the elders of the Ice Spirit royal family, including Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit, were already waiting in front of the city. Jun Xiaoyao guessed that he might receive a grand reception. However, he did not expect the Ice Spirit royal family to be waiting outside the city for him. Thank you for coming to my Ice Frost City, young friend. Your presence brings light to my humble dwelling of the Ice Spirit royal family. The leader, Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit, cupped her hands slightly towards Jun Xiaoyao and was extremely enthusiastic. Royal Father. Fei Qingxue was also surprised. She did not expect her father to be so enthusiastic. It was hard to imagine that a great heavenly venerable powerhouse would be so respectful to Jun Xiaoyao. Afterward, Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit also warmly invited Jun Xiaoyao to a grand banquet to welcome him. At the banquet, Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit was in an unprecedentedly happy mood. He smiled and said, Qingxue, pour wine for our young friend. Our young friend is the great benefactor of the Ice Spirit royal family. As your father, I want to toast you 3 times. Fei Qingxue was also well-behaved. She stood beside Jun Xiaoyao and poured wine for him. Chun Chun, on the other hand, grabbed a drumstick on the table and gnawed on it. Her small mouth was greasy. She was just a slacker. Following Jun Xiaoyao, she could eat and drink for free. Don't mention it. Ice Spirit Clan leader, you don't have to be so polite. Jun Xiaoyao also raised his cup and smiled. Haha, young friend, you don't know. The Firestone royal family came before. Not only did they return the land they occupied, but they also apologized and agreed not to invade each other. Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit laughed. One of his worries could be considered to have been completely cured. The Ice Spirit royal family had nothing to worry about. No wonder, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. But this was also good. The more the Ice Spirit royal family respected him, the easier it would be to carry out the plan. When the wine was drunk, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly smiled and said, Ice Spirit clan leader, aren't you curious about the force behind me? Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit heard this and replied seriously, Young friend, you must be joking. How would I dare to investigate your background? In Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit's eyes, Jun Xiaoyao had at least an immortal king behind him. It was not an existence that the Ice Spirit royal family could pry into. Jun Xiaoyao said, Clan leader, you don't have to be like this. I can tell you directly that the force behind me is not some hidden monarch clan, but the Destiny Sect. The Destiny Sect? Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit was extremely shocked. It was rumored that Jun Xiaoyao was the chaos body seed of an ancient hidden monarch clan that had awakened from a deep slumber. But now, Jun Xiaoyao actually said that the Destiny Sect was behind him. The problem was that Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit had never heard of the Destiny Sect. Jun Xiaoyao did not say anything. Instead, it was Fei Qingxue who understood. She stepped forward and said, Father, weren't you curious about what kind of opportunity one obtained in the heavenly tomb? Qingxue, you mean? Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit sensed something. Then, Fei Qingxue told Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit and some of the elders present what she had experienced. What? The god of destiny and creation? Is it a gift from God that made your crippled, icy, heavenly bone become a Taoist bone? Young friend, are you the god of destiny and creation's messenger in the human world? And that mysterious immortal king is actually that God's servant? Fei Qingxue's words refreshed the three views and understanding of the Ice Spirit royal family. Even Chunshun was very surprised. She did not expect this mister to have such a background. If someone had said this to them, Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit and the others would definitely have scoffed. But now, this was something his daughter, Fei Qingxue, had experienced personally. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao, who had the Chaos Constitution, was there. The manifestation of the Immortal King was also something that everyone had witnessed with their own eyes. Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit could not help but doubt it. As for investigating the origin of the Immortal King, even the quasi-immortal level Peacock King could not detect it. Not to mention Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit, who was a great heavenly venerable. It was even more impossible to offend. Looking at the shocked expressions of Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit and the others, Jun Xiaoyao saw everything. This was the effect he wanted to see. It's about time, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Then, he said directly, Patriarch, although I can solve your family's problem for a while, strength is everything. But you must know that in my world, strength is paramount. Without true strength, it is impossible to be protected for long. So, is the Ice Spirit royal family willing to join the Church of Destiny and believe in the great and supreme God of destiny and creation? Jun Xiaoyao smiled. It was a devil smile. The bait had been cast. Would the Ice Spirit royal family take the bait? Chapter 9:31. Jun Xiaoyao's invitation caused the originally noisy banquet to quiet down. All the upper echelons of the Ice Spirit royal family seemed to have stopped breathing. They vaguely sensed that this might be an opportunity to change the declining fate of the Ice Spirit royal family. If it was during the heyday of the Ice Spirit royal family, the Ice Spirit royal family naturally wouldn't easily join any faction. But now, the Ice Spirit royal family was not as powerful as before. They almost fell out of the 100 great royal families. In fact, without Jun Xiaoyao's help, not to mention the Black Peacock royal family, even a Fiery Rock royal family could force them to a dead end. Jun Xiaoyao saw what was going on and decided to give him another shot. My Destiny sect has a supreme cultivation technique called the Tao Heart Demonic Seed Art. Qingxue has already cultivated it. You also know that her cultivation has improved. As long as you believe in the God of destiny and creation, you can also cultivate this cultivation technique. The strength of your entire family will increase by a level. At that time, even the fiery rock royal family will be left behind by you and can be destroyed at will. Jun Xiaoyao's voice was like the voice of a devil that tempted people to fall. Celestial Master Ice Spirit's heart thumped. Her cultivation realm had not broken through for a long time. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed, and he chuckled. If you still don't believe me, then I'll let you comprehend a section of the technique first. Jun Xiaoyao casually pointed, and a section of scripture appeared and landed between Celestial Master Ice Spirit's eyebrows. Celestial Master Ice Spirit closed her eyes. After carefully comprehending it, she suddenly opened her eyes. Her eyes were red, and her breathing was rapid. This cultivation technique was truly heaven-defying. It could be given to others to cultivate and obtain the results of other people's cultivation, and it could be expanded infinitely. Celestial Master Ice Spirit knew that if she could obtain this opportunity, it would not be difficult to break through the bottleneck. Seeing Celestial Master Ice Spirit's rapid breathing, Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a faint smile. People tended to seek benefits and avoid harm. As long as it was something beneficial to them, they would naturally take the initiative to join without Jun Xiaoyao's persuasion. Jun Xiaoyao was a top-notch expert in reading people's minds and manipulating them. It's the honor of the Ice Spirit royal family to be able to join the Church of Destiny. Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit cupped her hands. Now, joining the Destiny sect was undoubtedly the best choice for the declining Ice Spirit royal family. Empyrean Ice Spirit found it hard to imagine. If the entire clan cultivated the Tao Heart demonic seed art, just how powerful would they become? It wasn't like there was no hope for them to become a top royal family, right? Fei Qingxue was also very happy. She was very happy that the Ice Spirit royal family had chosen the right path. Patriarch, you've made the wisest choice. But the Church of Destiny hasn't shown up yet. I'll make arrangements for everything, said Jun Xiaoyao. Right now, all he needed to do was to control the Ice Spirit royal family. As for the other royal families, they would have to wait for the right time. Rice had to be eaten mouthful by mouthful and could not be rushed. Of course, we will respect the orders of the divine emissary, said Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit. You don't have to do that. As long as you're a devout believer and don't easily reveal the secrets of our sect, it'll be fine. The Ice Spirit royal family will still be the Ice Spirit royal family, said Jun Xiaoyao with a smile. Thank you, divine emissary. Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit was extremely grateful. At least the Ice Spirit royal family still retained their autonomy. Looking at the grateful and respectful faces of the Ice Spirit royal family, Jun Xiaoyao also sighed in his heart. His skills at tricking people were getting better and better. After that, Jun Xiaoyao also handed the Tao Heart demonic seed art to Celestial Venerable Ice Spirit and the others. They couldn't wait to cultivate it. Jun Xiaoyao went to a spring deep in the Ice Spirit royal family's territory. This spring water was extremely strange. Half of it was hot, and the other half was cold. Jun Xiaoyao recalled that he hadn't soaked in a hot spring for a long time. This hobby was about to be thrown away. Since the world of divine ruins, everything has been in a hurry. It's time to slow down. The plan has been laid out bit by bit. Next, we just have to wait for the Ares Academy to open. I'm quite interested in plundering the opportunities of the foreign lands, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Sir, Fei Qingxue was wearing a tight-fitting undergarment that was as thin as a cicada's wing. It was the kind that was a little transparent. She knelt beside Jun Xiaoyao with a red face and massaged his shoulders. Fei Qingxue really had the characteristics of the Ice Spirit royal family. Her skin was as white as ice and snow. At this moment, her slightly red cheeks and shy appearance made her even more beautiful. Now, the fate of the entire Ice Spirit royal family was in the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. Fei Qingxue looked at Jun Xiaoyao as if she was at his mercy. Jun Xiaoyao didn't avoid it. He still had to enjoy the service that he should enjoy. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao didn't have any intention of doing anything to her, Fei Qingxue felt a little disappointed. She didn't know that in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, she was just a tool. "Oh, it's time to soak in the hot spring." A clear and delicate voice rang out. A petite and dainty figure fell into the spring water with a thud, splashing up the water. Chun returned to her original state and blew bubbles like a little mermaid that had just come out of the bath. What made the corner of Jun Xiaoyao's mouth twitch was that this little girl was completely naked. Her soft and thick white hair perfectly covered her chest. It was like a natural mosaic. Is this clan all so open? Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. He knew Chun's origin the first time he saw her. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao staring at her, Chun didn't feel shy. Instead, Linglong leaned toward Jun Xiaoyao and asked, "Sir, where are you looking at?" "Well, as far as the eye can see. It's very flat," Jun Xiaoyao said as if nothing had happened. Chun immediately pursed her red lips and soaked her body in the water with a resentful look on her face. Jun Xiaoyao no longer paid attention to Chun. Instead, he probed his inner universe. The celestial tree automatically landed beside the tree of world and took root in the all-creation soil. Jun Xiaoyao then sprinkled the spring water from the spring of life on the celestial tree. In an instant, the bare celestial tree was shrouded in all kinds of divine light. The branches began to sprout one by one. Even the embryonic form of the celestial fruit began to be born. If the old antiques in the heavenly tomb state saw this speed, their eyeballs would definitely pop out. The celestial tree only bore fruit once every 1,000 years. Each time it was a long wait. Even the celestial spirit leaf could only bear dozens or hundreds of leaves in hundreds of years. But now, the celestial tree had sprouted in just a few hours in Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe. Even the embryonic form of the celestial fruit was ready. Of course, there were 3 reasons for this: the all-creation soil, the spring of life, and most importantly, the influence of the tree of world. As the ancestor of all trees, the tree of world had greatly enhanced the celestial tree. At this rate, it should be able to bear the celestial fruit again in a few months. It just so happens that I also lack law fragments. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself, in order to become a true supremacy, one must master a complete law. The reason why there was a quasi-supremacy in front of quasi-supremacy was because a complete law had not been born in one's body and could not be controlled. Right now, Jun Xiaoyao was already preparing to break through to the supremacy level. The first law will be the law of the physical body. Chapter 9:32. The first immortal qi that Jun Xiaoyao condensed was the immortal qi of the physical body. His physical body was also unparalleled throughout the ages. Now, although Jun Xiaoyao had the chaotic physique, the ability of his physical body was not weaker than the original sacred body of the ancients. Jun Xiaoyao was ready to condense the physical body law first and use it to break through to the real supreme realm. Then, he would condense other laws. After condensing the physical body law, Jun Xiaoyao's physical body would sublimate to a certain extent. However, if he wanted to control the physical body law, in addition to Jun Xiaoyao's own comprehension, the law fragments were also of great assistance. That was why Jun Xiaoyao seized the celestial tree to get more celestial fruits to extract the law fragments. Except for the celestial tree, Jun Xiaoyao was also paying attention to the seed of faith, although the seed of faith had not changed much until now. However, there were already dense balls of light around him. Most of them were only the size of a fist. Those should be the faith of the slave creatures. Although the power of faith was small, it was very devout, bright, and dazzling. A few of the balls of light were of different sizes. Some were the size of a human head, some were the size of a watermelon, and some were even the size of a star. This should be the faith of the Ice Spirit royal family experts. The power of faith provided by it was much more vigorous than that of the slave creatures. However, it was not as bright and dazzling as that of the slave creatures. Although the Ice Spirit royal family believed in the god of fate and creation, they were obviously not as devout as those slave creatures. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not care. When his strength increased, he would naturally be able to control everything. In the following time, Jun Xiaoyao stayed in the Ice Spirit royal family for the time being. On the other side, on the vast, desolate plains of the state of Heavenly Tomb, a bloody battle was breaking out. A team of more than 10 slave tribes was besieging the Cyclops tribe. As a general tribe, the Cyclops tribe was not the top. However, in this vast plain, they were like masters. Many slave tribes around were exploited and bullied by them. But now, the Cyclops tribe discovered that more than 10 slave tribes had joined forces to overthrow the Cyclops rule. Revolt. These lowly slaves are all revolting. Damn it. How did they become so much stronger? A Cyclops shouted angrily. Logically speaking, these slave races wouldn't be able to obtain too many resources. He didn't have any good cultivation techniques either. Their strength would almost always remain at their original level, making it easier to rule them. But right now, there were even saints and saint kings amongst this group of slave races. This was ridiculous. Kill. In the middle of the crowd, a young man with a strong body, dark skin, and a determined face appeared. Like a wolf in a flock of sheep, he blew up a Cyclops with a single punch. Black Skin Tribe. The eyes of the one-eyed giants were filled with rage. The first to rebel was the Black Skin Tribe. This young man was the current leader of the Black Skin Tribe, Tuoba Yu. Shockingly, his current cultivation was at the Saint Realm. This caused the Cyclopes to be dumbfounded and shocked. Such a young saint was truly astounding. One had to know that in the beginning, Tuoba Yu hadn't even reached the Saint Realm. But now, he had become a saint. This speed of improvement was absolutely abnormal. He could be called an eternal monster. However, these Cyclopes naturally didn't know what kind of fortuitous opportunity Tuoba Yu had obtained. Tuoba Yu was the first to obtain the Dao Heart demonic seed art. Naturally, he was the biggest beneficiary of the Dao Heart demonic seed art. It could be said that all the other living beings who had obtained the Dao Heart demonic seed art were supporting his cultivation, continuously transferring energy to him. In addition, Tuoba Yu had obtained 1,000th of Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation talent. Jun Xiaoyao's name had to be emphasized. For other eternal monsters and peerless geniuses, 1,000th of their cultivation talent might only be able to create a relatively strong genius. However, Jun Xiaoyao's 1,000th of talent in cultivation made him even more powerful than some geniuses of all ages. Therefore, it wasn't hard to understand that Tuoba Yu could reach the Saint Realm in such a short time. After a bloody battle, Tuoba Yu managed to kill the Cyclops tribe patriarch, who was of a higher rank than him. The entire Cyclops tribe was annihilated, even though the Cyclops tribe was the weakest among the general tribes. However, this victory also boosted the morale of all the slaves. Thank you, Lord Tuoba Yu. If it weren't for you, we might still be bullied by the Cyclops tribe. The leader of the Bloodbone tribe said excitedly. That's right. Lord Tuoba Yu is a true hero. The Goblin tribe shouted. The dozen or so slaves all cheered loudly. Feeling the worship of the thousands of beings around him, Tuoba Yu took a deep breath. Wasn't this what he had always dreamed of? But Tuoba Yu was also very clear-headed. He knew who had given him his current glory. The god of fate and creation could give him everything, and could also take everything away from him. Therefore, Tuoba Yu's faith became even more devout. Everyone, I, Tuoba Yu, am only a rebel. The one you should truly believe in and praise is the great God of fate and creation. It's the great and supreme God who changed the tragic fate of our slaves. Tuoba Yu's words made the cheers even louder. We are willing to be devout believers of the God of fate and creation forever. The devout shouts shook the heavens and earth. Tuoba Yu raised his arm and shouted, "But we are not the only ones who are being bullied. There are also tens of millions of slaves. Who is willing to follow me to liberate more slaves?" The Bloodbone tribe is willing to follow Lord Tuoba Yu and the God of fate and creation. The Goblin tribe is willing to follow Lord Tuoba Yu and the God of fate and creation. The Mystic Mist tribe is willing to follow. All the clans were shouting loudly, their voices surging with passion and decisiveness. A single spark could start a prairie fire. Perhaps even Jun Xiaoyao, who had set up this game, did not expect that Tuobiyu, this chess piece, would have such a good effect. Although the slaves were at the bottom of the foreign realm and were the weakest existences, but quantitative change could cause qualitative change. As long as there were enough of them, and they all cultivated the Tao heart demonic seed art, the rise of the slaves was just around the corner. At that time, the foreign realm would probably have a headache. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao did not care about Tuobiyu's plan and allowed it to develop freely. Jun Xiaoyao could only feel that the light of faith in the inner universe was increasing by the tens of thousands. The seed of faith began to undergo some subtle changes. Its surface began to be covered with a faint layer of light. One could vaguely see the shadows of countless living beings worshipping it devoutly. Although this change was subtle, it also meant that Jun Xiaoyao's direction was not wrong. If there really was a so-called god, then Jun Xiaoyao should be conferred as the god of deception. During the days when the Ice Spirit royal family stayed, there were royal families, top royal families, and quasi-emperor clans who came to visit from time to time. There were even messengers from the emperor clans who came to ask to see Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao rejected all of these. These people wanted nothing more than to investigate his background or recruit him. But now, Jun Xiaoyao was not prepared to join any quasi-emperor clans or immortal emperor clans. That would be too restrictive and inconvenient. On a certain day, the sound of a bell suddenly rang out. This bell sound reverberated through heaven and earth, resounding through the foreign realm like a great bell. Countless young creatures of the foreign realm raised their heads and looked up at the sky, their eyes burning with flames. The Ares Academy had opened. Chapter 9:33. The sound of the bell echoed throughout the 10 great states of the foreign realm. The loud bell sound came from one of the War God Academy's imperial weapons, the war bell. When the bell was rung, it was time for the War God Academy to open. Like the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy, the War God Academy did not open every epoch. Only in the most prosperous times or the most chaotic times would these 2 top academies appear in the world and oppose each other. As the 2 highest academies of the 2 realms, the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy and the War God Academy clearly gathered the top elites of the various realms. In the future, these elites of the 2 realms would engage in an ultimate clash in the war-torn lands of the desolate border. And now, the War God Academy had opened, and the prodigies of the various foreign realms could not hold back. In a seclusion place of the Infernal Clan, suddenly, the world darkened, and the sun and moon lost their light. Many of the infernal imperial clansmen looked to the location of the closed-door training. They were all pleasantly surprised and shocked. It's the young master's seclusion place. The War God Academy has opened, and the young master is about to come out of seclusion. While everyone was still in shock, a huge crack suddenly appeared in the sky. There was actually an eye in that crack. Above the universe, an evil eye floated in the sky. Many of the Infernal Clan members were extremely excited at the sight of this. Ancestral returning eye. I didn't expect the young master to have cultivated the infernal evil eye to such a level. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook, and the mountain range shook. An incomparably transcendent figure stepped out with his hands behind his back. It was a young man dressed in black and gold luxurious clothes. His appearance was extremely young, and he was also very handsome. His entire body was filled with the aura of a pseudo-supreme, and he was not too far from a true supreme. He was thousands of years old, and he was definitely part of the younger generation among the foreign realms. To be able to cultivate to a pseudo-supreme at this age, only those of the pseudo-emperor clan and above had such a foundation. Greetings, young master. In all directions, many infernal creatures were bowing down in worship. This young man was naturally Li Jioi, an elite of the Emperor clan, and also one of the 10 heavenly kings of the younger generation. Although Kong Qianqian is only a concubine that I've taken a fancy to, she is still mine. The chaos body is a little too much. Do you really think you can be unbridled just because you have the support of a mysterious immortal? Li Jioming's tone was cold and deep. Even a top royal clan or a quasi-emperor clan with an immortal king would not be willing to offend another immortal king. Only the true immortal emperor clans would have the confidence to face the immortal kings. After all, every immortal emperor clan was extremely ancient and had a deep foundation. Otherwise, it would not pose such a great threat to the Nine Heavens immortal realm. Although the Infernal clan could not be considered to be one of the strongest and most ancient clans among the immortal imperial clans, they were still very powerful. However, they had also towered in the other side for countless great eras, not someone anyone could provoke. Let's go to the Ares Academy and see how capable that chaotic body is. Li Jui stepped across the void. In the palm of his hand, there was a crack that faintly split open, and a terrifying aura surged within it. The atavistic infernal could be said to be Li Jiui's ultimate trump card. It was because of this that he did not have the void primal chaos body. On another continent, there was an ancient monarch tribe. This bloodline grew on the floating Emperor Mountain. It was the Magia tribe. They had mastered the top-tier ability of being untouchable and magic power immunity. At this moment, on the Emperor Mountain, there were experts communicating with their divine sense. Can't you figure out the origin of that chaotic body? Which monarch tribe is it from? Could it be one of the bloodlines from the Avicania lands? Shoo, those bloodlines are not something we can speculate about. Calamity-level immortals can sense it even if it's just mentioned in a discussion. Then what should we do? The only divine ability of our Magia tribe cannot be leaked to outsiders. Has the Emperor's son not woken up yet? It's still a few days away. Then when the Emperor's son wakes up, let him investigate and solve it. After all, the Emperor's son is one of the 7 minor emperors of our realm. When he comes out, he will need a great battle. It's a good opportunity to sharpen his blade with the chaotic body. The Permitha continent was one of the 10 great continents of the other side. The most famous monarch tribe in this area was naturally the legendary Permitha monarch tribe. After all, the entire continent was named after the Permitha continent. At this moment, in an area of the Permitha continent, a large patch of beautiful blue Permitha flowers grew in this area. A blue-clothed, blue-haired young man strolled among the blue Permitha flowers. He looked extremely handsome. He was the Permitha prince, a top-notch prodigy of the blue Permitha flowers. The blue Permitha flowers were a branch of the Permitha monarch tribe. Although it was just a branch, it was backed by the Permitha monarch tribe. Its status was not inferior to a quasi-monarch tribe. In front of the Permitha prince, an enchanting woman with a devil mask on her face appeared. Hualien, it seems like the Permitha organization you manage isn't doing too well, the Permitha prince said calmly. The masked woman named Hualien shook her head slightly and sighed. Sigh, who knew that little girl Xian Yu would betray us? She was the most cold-blooded, numb, and heartless person in the organization. Yes, the most cold-blooded and heartless person. In the end, she fell in love and betrayed our Permitha monarch tribe, the Permitha prince said with a laugh. But I didn't expect that little girl Xian Yu to be so lucky. She survived and even returned to our world. Hualien's tone had a hint of surprise. Previously, in the world of the divine ruins, Xian Yu stood up for Jun Xiaoyao. Many creatures of the exotic domain saw that. This also meant that Xian Yu had betrayed the exotic domain and the Permitha organization. In the end, Xian Yu and the fallen Jun Xiaoyao fell into the abyss of the void together. The people of the Permitha organization thought that Xian Yu was dead, so they did not investigate. Who knew that in the exotic domain, someone would find traces of Xian Yu? This attracted the attention of the Permitha organization and the blue Permitha flowers. As for the woman named Hualien, she was the leader who had brought Xian Yu into the Permitha organization. The Ares Academy has opened. I'm going there next. As for Xian Yu, after you capture her, hand her over to me. I want to torture her to death in front of countless creatures. The Permitha monarch tribe will not allow traitors to appear. The Permitha prince's tone was cold and indifferent. The Permitha monarch tribe was very low-key. Not only were they few in number, but they also rarely showed themselves. As time passed, the blue Permitha flowers replaced the Permitha monarch tribe to handle all kinds of affairs. This time, they wanted to use Xianyu to establish their power and make their presence known. Sigh, I'm a little reluctant. After all, Xianyu is such a sharp knife. Hualien sighed. What's so pitiful about a traitor? The Permitha prince shook his head slightly. He stepped into the void, and blue Permitha flowers bloomed, forming a path that extended into the distance. Looking at the Permitha prince's back view, the expression under Hualien's mask turned cold. Ha! When the tiger is not in the mountain, the monkey is the king. It's just a branch, but they are still so arrogant. The Permitha heavenly maiden should be waking up soon. After all, she was the one who appointed me to find Xianyu, Hualien muttered. The Permitha heavenly maiden she mentioned was the princess of the Permitha monarch tribe who was in hibernation. Her name was Mengnuer. She was also one of the 7 minor emperors of the exotic domain.